What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliate and scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I am doing this show like I'm back in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Doing it like I'm back in the... Which means basically we are doing it from the crib, right? So I got a nice view out there. Life is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, had Thanksgiving yesterday, so that was pretty awesome. And then chill with family and friends, but at the same time, you know, we don't miss. I know a lot of y'all are still on vacation. Some of y'all off of work. Some of y'all getting ready to do some online Black Friday shopping. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. We're going to get into the show, but I think I got a pretty good show for you guys that's lined up, that's not at work, that chose to still be up early in the morning, that did not drink too much, don't got too much eggnog, didn't get into any problems with friends and family, but we're going to continue to run it up, right? So I got a good show lined up for y'all today. We're gonna pivot slightly. So this is what we're going to do, right? We're not going to do call-ins because I got my guy Will Motivation coming on today. Shout out to Will Motivation. A lot of people are not familiar with the OGs of YouTube that continue to do great things. And so I like to connect with people, and I have some really good friends that I've not only looked up to, but also had an opportunity to build with. And Will Motivation is one of them. So I'm definitely going to have Will Motivation, and we're going to talk money. We talking money talk today, all right? That's towards the end of the show. On the beginning of the show, we need to have some conversations about what's going on around the country. I want to go into divorce, the cost of it. I want to go into a lot of different things. And you know, on the Millionaire Morning Show, what it comes back down to is how it affects you financially. Everything comes back down to the money, whether you're talking about politics, women, relationships, real estate, businesses, working from home. It all comes back down to the money. So we definitely going to deep dive into that today. So let me first get a mental health check in the chat. How y'all feeling this morning? How are the people feeling this morning consistently tapping in, giving y'all the game? We got the Patreon pitch your business on the 26th, which is this Sunday, 2 days from now. Literally 2 days from now, you guys will be able to pitch your business. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also on top of that, Thank you to Teej Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you do not get your Teej Hanley, if you do not have your Teej pack, make sure you get into that Teej Hanley. That link is in the description also, all right? So shout out to Teej Hanley. Let me know how y'all feeling in the chat today. I say Teflon, happy, energized, superb, union strong, calm, thankful, rich, awesome, positive, excellent, refreshed, good as F said, Kojak, focused, relieved, broke, trying to get some money. Well, you at the right place for sure. PTO day, I see you, Ant, with the PTO day. Great. If you're going to take off, at least get paid for it. Grateful, hungry, grateful, Shark Tank style, no BS. Remember to bring your A game. Great, feeling industrial, expectant, relieved, peaceful, feeling great, amazing, alive, calm, content, feeling thankful, blessed, feeling good, said Brittany. Grateful morning, outstanding, getting over a cold, revived, motivated, outstanding, blessed, and focused and excited. Let me see. Reparations over everything. Feeling great. Focus. Shout out to my dog Ash. Says he back on the road. King. Great. I'm alright. Indeed. Chopping videos. Shout out to Dead Pill Reacts. I love that dude. Free. Ready to get this money. Miss Crow T. Shetty came through with the first super chat of the day. Shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty. Says, thank you. I appreciate you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. I appreciate you for always being a contributor into the platform. I will be reading super chats throughout the show, so thank you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Because I got a lot of things that I want to knock out before I bring my dude, Will Motivation, onto the show. All right? Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, somebody said that they getting that triple time. I see you. I see you. All right, shout out to y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the show. Again, we bringing Will Motivation on the show today, so that should be a pretty interesting conversation. Looking to get into some money talk with him, so hopefully that'll be fruitful for you guys. And then again, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Shout out to all of my people on Facebook. Shout out to all of my people on YouTube. Again, sponsored by Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Listen, no matter what, we still gonna do what we do, whether we doing it in the studio or we doing it from the crib. Let's get started with Quick Hits. Quick Hits is a part of the show where we basically break down in smaller segments what's going on around the country with relate to money, but then at the same time, it may not warrant an entire segment dedicated to it, but we just want to talk to it really quickly, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Just quick hits that's going on around the country. Let me bring y'all up to speed of what's going on out here in these streets. So first and foremost, oh man, look at my camera. Camera ain't right. All right, first and foremost, Sam Altman, right? Now, Sam Altman, again, I've been following this. I've been bringing this to the front of the congregation. Sam Altman was the CEO of OpenAI. OpenAI is the company that brought us ChatGPT. Microsoft invested over $12 billion into OpenAI, again, which is the company that brought us ChatGPT. Was recently fired, right? There was a board coup. Now, people kept trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why are they pushing out their revolutionary leader and founder, Sam Altman, the CEO of the company? And then on top of that, Nadella over there at Microsoft, which is the CEO of Microsoft, immediately hired him as a part of the research team over at Microsoft. And then they basically put him back in a position where he became CEO again of OpenAI. So it's been a lot of conversation happening over there. But let me bring you up to speed on some of the things that's happening and what's being revealed that people are not familiar with, okay?
We're learning more about the ouster and return of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Reuters reporting that before the board fired Altman, several staff researchers wrote a letter to the board warning of a powerful artificial intelligence discovery that they said could threaten humanity. Sources telling Reuters that the previously unreported letter and AI breakthrough were key developments ahead of Altman's ouster and factored in to the board's list of grievances with Altman. Other concerns included commercializing these advances before understanding the consequences. The day before Altman was fired, he told world leaders at the APEC summit that he believed major advances were in sight. And Becky, we've been talking about the soap opera for so long, but I mean, a very short soap opera, by the way, given that it happened over the course of 72 hours. But so interesting that now we're hearing that there really was right? And really is some kind of innovation that may actually make people unnerved. And
so part of the reason why they're saying that he was ousted was because the technology is developing so fast with artificial intelligence that they're saying that there was a major breakthrough that happened over there at the company that they're just pushing out here to the general public, but they are not taking into consideration what is going to happen or what is happening or what the possible ramifications could be for the general public and humanity itself. Reuters reported specifically and said ahead of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's 4-day ago exile, the staff, several staff researchers wrote in a letter to the board of directors warning of a powerful artificial intelligence discovery that they said could threaten humanity. Two people familiar with the matter told Reuters. The previously unreported letter and AI algorithm were key developments before the board's ouster of Altman, the poster child of generative AI. So he's going to be the face of AI because he's the person that broke through and then brought this to the face, brought this to what we got going on today. They said prior to his triumphant return on Tuesday, which he is the CEO again of OpenAI, more than 700 employees had threatened to quit and join backer Microsoft in solidarity with their fired leader. So what's basically being reported by the general public, which is somewhat being silenced because this is not something that's being communicated openly to everybody, is that there's some kind of breakthrough that's happening in artificial intelligence, specifically with OpenAI right now. And they are very, very scared of what it means to the general public who are not familiar with the level of technology that they're leveraging over at these companies now. So I will continue to keep an eye on it because I know that this is something that's not necessarily popular to talk about within the culture, but I think that it's absolutely imperative for us to talk about it with regard to how it comes back to the money and how it come back to us as far as how we're going to be affected in our daily lives. All right. So in addition to that, now advocates are pushing, which I told you guys that this was going to happen. I warned you guys that this was going to happen. Advocates are pushing for a more permanent legal change after the 1-year window closed yesterday. So Thanksgiving, it closed yesterday for the new lawsuits under New York's Adult Survivors Act. Let me bring y'all up to speed on what's happening on that front so that we can then have a little bit of a conversation, and then I'll share with you guys what my thoughts are on that.
More celebrities are facing lawsuits this morning with just hours until a temporary New York law expires. The Adult Survivors Act lets victims, adult victims that is, sue over attacks that occurred even decades ago. A former Penthouse magazine model sued Axl Rose yesterday, claiming the Guns N' Roses singer raped her in 1989. Rose's attorney denied the claims. In 2 lawsuits filed yesterday, 2 women accused actor Cuba Gooding Jr. of groping them in 2018 and 2019. Another lawsuit filed this week accuses actor Jamie Foxx of sexual assault in an incident in 2015. More than 2,500 lawsuits have been filed under the temporary law this past year, including against former President Donald Trump, Sean Diddy Combs, and actor Russell Brand.
So let's stop there for a second, right? Because now, just as I predicted, advocates, specifically women, 99.9 of them, are basically pushing for an additional extension of a more than permanent way to seek legal accountability for abusers after more than 2,500 lawsuits were filed under the New York Adult Survivors Act before its 1-year window closed on Thanksgiving, which was yesterday, okay? It said the law, which Democrat Governor Haley or Kathy Hochul signed in May 2022, created the 1-year window for people who were 18 years or older at the time of an alleged offense to file a lawsuit against their alleged abusers and the institutions that enabled them. Basically, you can be anywhere, and anywhere that you are that's a business can be sued, in addition to that, regardless of the statute of limitations, which is why you've seen Axl Rose being sued for something that happened in 1989. Eric Adams got sued for something that they said happened, that's alleged happened in 1993. Jamie Foxx is allegedly countersuing, so I'm doing a little bit of research on that before I report it to y'all about something that happened that they said happened in 2015. Cuba Gooding Jr., Diddy, and a host of other people that some are big, some are small, some are visible, some not so much, People in positions of power all across the board were being sued based off of this new statute of limitations, regardless of what it's being alleged or whether or not you had proof in order to be able to prove whether or not this person actually did it or not. But I already warned you guys. I told you that this was going to be a thing. All they did was open up the floodgates for people to be able to get a free ride in a lot of instances, because now you have the ability to sue civilly and there's no criminal charges that come as a result of it. But you have Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, that is now at the forefront of this movement because she is the one that signed it into law in the first place. And so when I see guys a lot of times not even understanding the ramifications of their actions, listen, this is the same thing that happened with the alphabet community and when y'all voted Obama into office, right? And it's not to say that Obama didn't do a necessarily good job for what he was needed for other things at the time, but what he brought in addition to that was he ushered in an era where it wasn't just about whether or not you have rights or whether or not you should be acknowledged or whether or not you shouldn't be discriminated against as a human being at work. They also advocated against and won gay marriage, and then it transitioned all the way through so many different phases to where now is men participating in women's sports, and you want to close the book on it or you want to put Pandora back in the box, and it's too late. So now that guys felt as though first, people felt as though it wasn't necessary to be able to vote. Now you get into office, people and women who have an agenda that continues to push the very thing that we think is bad for the family. They continue to push policy, and now they're continuing to remix the law to where you can basically extend the possibility of accusing somebody without proof in a civil lawsuit of doing something to you, even if it was 30, 40, and 50 years ago. I told you that this was going to happen. I warned you that this was going to happen. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. I told you that this was going to happen. This is not something that is new. I've seen it. I'm telling you, there's no one person above the group. So whether you are a part of the black community and you want to separate yourself based off of that, whether you want to separate yourself based off of gender, because even when you vote these people in office that do the thing that's not best for your community or best for your family, it affects you too, ladies. Even if you want to separate yourself based off of race, or you want to separate yourself based off of tall or short, or whether you are an American or not, or whether you are visa. Listen, from the migrant crisis to policies that incentivize people to break up their families, to no repercussions of accusing people of doing something that they didn't do, to the cash grab from women that accuse men of doing things that they didn't do, all the way to men being released every single day based off of the Innocence Project of being accused of things that they didn't do for years. And then there's no repercussions of accusing somebody of doing something and then proving it wrong. We just going down a rabbit hole. It's really, really bad. And I'm telling you that there's so many people that are running scared, even to the point to where I think that it might even be a revolt from people that have money and resources now that they see how this is affecting them. Exhibit A. Let me go over to the next quick hit, and then I'll tell you an example of it. Bill Cosby. I bet y'all didn't see that coming. In addition to Eric Adams, in addition to Jamie Foxx and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Axl Rose and Jimmy Iovine, did y'all know that Bill Cosby is actually being sued in a new lawsuit based off of this Survivors Act, this Adult Survivors Act law? They're being sued in a new lawsuit by a stand-in from The Cosby Show. Take a look.
A woman who accused Bill Cosby of drugging and raping her is now suing him under the New York Adult Survivors Act.
Joan Tarshis is using the law's 1-year look-back period.
Now check it out. She's sitting there with a Kamala LA hat on. So she's from Los Angeles, apparently. Got the Kamala LA hat on and looks old as piss. And you can come back decades later from being a stand-in on the Cosby Show and sue Bill Cosby, the pudding king. This is insane, man.
Claims that have already passed the statute of limitations. Her lawsuit accuses Cosby of battery, assault, emotional distress, and false imprisonment more than 50 years ago. Cosby
50 Yo, we got to get a Guinness Book of World Records for how long ago this is. A woman that's accusing him of doing something 50, never heard of this woman a day in her life, accusing him of doing something from 50 years ago.
He was convicted of sexual assault in 2018, but got out of prison because of a due process issue. More than 50 women have accused him of rape or assault. He's denied any wrongdoing.
So Bill Cosby continues to be under fire. They say Bill can't even see no more. But, you know, he's being sued based off of an accusation from 50 years ago. And he's not the only one. So if Bill can get got from 50 years ago, that means that you as a, 30-year-old man, 25-year-old man, that means that they got a good 60 more years, if you live that long, to be able to come after you and your estate based off of the advocacy of extending permanently the Adult Survivors Act, which only allowed for you to be able to get your stuff in within a year. But the lawyers are licking their chops and they making a lot of money as a result of this. So be very, very careful, be mindful of what's going on out here in these streets, because it could affect you. Whether you actually did it or not is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is whether or not you're being accused. All right? And that's your Quick Hits, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Quick Hits is a segment of the show where we break down what's going on in society, but we're not necessarily dedicating entire segments to it, all right? Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get it popping for the show. I got a great show lined up for you guys today. Sportsaholic Gerard says, Anton, calling you to the front of the congregation. Your Lions played like kittens yesterday. Super Bowl, send them back to their litter bowl. Listen. The 8-3 Lions, they needed that loss. It was a reality check because they had been playing lethargic for 3 quarters every single game, and then they always want to make a comeback at the end of the game or whatever like that. They needed their butts kicked in order to get that reality check. And I think this is going to be very empowering for the Lions, and you're going to really see them roar back and get their stuff together. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'll give you that one. I'll let you lean on that. The Magnum Group times the Vibes Lounge says, AI can read brain waves and reproduce human thoughts. Shout out to my dog, the Magnum Group. Real says, so women can revoke their consent decades after they were down with it? Crazy. Bitcoin Brown says, what up, Ton and the Chasers? Excited to be cooking up with you and the team, Anton. Yeah, shout out to Bitcoin Brown. He sent me a new revamp of what we was doing with the website. I didn't even ask for it. He just sent it to me. I looked at it. I said, I like what's going on over there. We're going to have to make a couple changes. But absolutely. Shout out to my dog, Bitcoin Brown, for cooking up. Ashton DeRosa says, I wonder how long before this law comes back to bite some of the New York legislator and even the governor. Well, it certainly already came back and bit Eric Adams because he already got a legal defense fund, but we're going to get there. So that is what's going on with Quick Hits. I will be reading Super Chats throughout the show, and I got my dog Will Motivation coming on, so let's go ahead and get started with other things that I want to bring to the forefront in order to make sure that you guys understand what's going on out here in these streets. So first thing that I want to talk about is Chicago. Well, no. Before I go over to Chicago, let me do a little bit of a rant. All right? I want to have a conversation because this morning I'm up and at 'em early. I'm up at 4:30 every single morning. Does not matter whether or not I'm going to the studio. Does not matter whether or not I'm working in corporate America. I'm up at 4:30 a.m. every single day. Don't matter whether or not I'm live streamed the night before, hanging out with friends and family. If you just went out and partied, if I had caught a trip yesterday, unless I'm flying somewhere to Japan that got a 12-hour trip or something like that, I'm up at 4:30, right? So I'm up at 4:30, up and at 'em. And at about 7 o'clock, Rita decided to get up because I guess she's just used to getting up at around 7 o'clock because she's usually taking my daughter over to school, right? And I had already worked out this morning, and so I'm getting things together. I'm texting back and forth, and I'm doing deals. I even talked to my dog, Will Motivation, early this morning. I was surprised he was up as early as I am, but I guess when you get into that bag, there's similarities amongst all of us, right? So I talked to Will and I'm like, yeah, come on the show. I talked to a couple people that I want to fly in, hopefully this weekend, in order to interview, because like I'm dropping 3 interviews this week. I'm dropping 3 interviews this week, and they are very, very good. And they all gonna be exclusive, completely unfiltered, over for the Patreon members and the Bag Chaser. So make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then obviously I waited till about 9 o'clock before I started making some other phone calls to some businesses that I'm doing business with, mainly with regard to real estate, right? And so I call and I left a message. They didn't call, and so they called me back a little bit before the show come on. They called me back about 45 minutes before the show came on today, and they said, Anton, all right, listen, I know what your proposals are. I know what your deals are. Let me give you the rundown, right? Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm very, very disappointed in our legislators and these liberal cities, okay? So a lot of you are familiar with the fact that I've been building homes. I've become a developer. I'm in the process of starting my 3rd home build. So while I have 2 already in flight, one of them is probably about 60% done. We actually got the plumbing coming in next week, and then we got the framers coming in the first week of December. And I'm going to give you all an update on that on the live stream on the Patreon next month. And then I have another process that's starting where I'm in maybe like the first 10% phase of finishing pulling all of the permits for the second property that I want to build. So these are my first builds. Usually I want to get properties turnkey, but these are the first time that I'm actually getting into the development process, because I wanted to learn as much as I can and start off smaller. So building single family homes was something I'm a little bit more familiar with versus just jumping straight into some kind of commercial development, right? And so I'm starting my 3rd home, and then I'm set to close next week on some other properties as far as land is concerned, right? And then a lot of y'all have heard that I'm actually moving back into the city. So my businesses are already moved into the city. I live in the suburbs of Metro Detroit. Even if you just want to see, here, I'll show it to you. If you want to see what my background look like, this is what I wake up to every morning, right? So as the water, this is what I wake up to every morning. Some of the best views in the world. And I got angles at every part. And I've been raising my daughter closer to where she goes to school, right? My daughter will be driving, and she's going to get her license in February. And so now I have the ability to be able to break out. So I got a second place that I'm using for business down in the city. It's at the highest price point in the city. So I'm actually moving my residence back into the city. I'm moving into Detroit now that my daughter's old enough to drive. I'm still keeping this place. I'm still keeping all of my property out in Metro Detroit as far as the suburbs of Detroit and everything like that, right? So I've submitted some proposals because now I'm looking to transition from being a developer out here to being a somewhat of a commercial developer down into the city. So I've been working with my architect, and he's been drawing up plans for a proposal or several proposals that I've submitted in order to secure and purchase swaths of land into the city that's closer to the areas where I'm going to be living and developing at, right? So I get a phone call back this morning, and my man says, the lawyer, and then I get another phone call from a realtor, and he said, Anton, the process for you to be able to secure the land within the city, now I'm buying it cash. I'm not financing it. I'm not going through a bank, none of that. He said the bureaucratic process in a city is very, very difficult. I said, what do you mean? He said, Anton, it's going to take you at least 6 months for them to go through your proposal, because you got to answer several different questions of what you plan to do with the land before they even sell it to you. He said it's going to take you 6 months for them to even go through your proposal to determine whether or not they want to sell the land to you. What? What are you talking about? So I see what you guys want to sell it for. I say, okay, I want to buy it without any kind of discounts for exactly what you guys want to sell it for. Well, no, Anton, you have to submit a proposal first of what you want to build on the land. Well, I want to build apartment buildings and single family homes, and I want to transition the entire streets entire blocks, entire neighborhoods over, and I want to build what I want to build as far as continuing to develop the community and making it a taxable, creating another tax base that then pay property taxes over to the city closer to where my office is. Oh, it's going to take you at least 6 months for them to even get to and review your proposal. Did I miss something or am I off? Because, see, here where I'm developing land, I purchase the property, I go and work with the city, I have my architect draw up the drawings, we get our contractors together, I pull the permits, I close usually within less than a week of identifying the property that I want to buy. I close with less than a week. Less than a month later, I got the permits pulled and we already breaking ground as far as the excavation and building out the property itself. We get the surveyors out there, we start getting the excavators out there, we dig it up, we start to lay the concrete, the foundation, we pour the basement walls, and then we moving. We getting it popping. I don't have time to just be sitting on money. The thing that I preach, which is much different than a lot of what these other people are preaching, in which I don't go through banks. I'm 100% self-financed. I don't go through banks. I don't do construction loans. I don't do hard money loans. I don't do any of that, right? I don't do mortgages, nothing. So once I paid off my last property last year, at the end of last year, towards the beginning of this year, when I paid off my last property, that was it. So I said, I'm never doing any financing. Well, I'm not going to say never because you never know. Because you're doing these big projects, you may have to pull some money or get liquid, or it may take you a little bit of time. But that's a whole nother conversation. I want to purchase it. And I want to build apartments and single family homes, and with the possibility of also having retail at the bottom of the place. Why is it taking me why is it taking the city 6 months? And this doesn't happen in the suburbs, where it's Oakland County, where it's one of the richest counties in the United States of America. This only happens in urban communities. I made a phone call right after that to a friend that I got over in Chicago, and then I made a phone call over to some people that I got down in Houston, right? And, these are people that's also involved in commercial process because they're kind of mentoring me of what it is that I need to do and all of this stuff. And they said, Anton, yeah, it's like that everywhere. It's like that with every major urban city. Every liberal city, there's so much red tape and so much bureaucracy that comes along with getting anything done. I don't understand how you make it difficult for people that actually want to help build up the city, build up the tax base. They're not even asking for any tax abatements or anything like that. Why is it so difficult for us to get stuff done in the cities that we want to get it done in? Why can't we expedite the process? Why is this a long process to get stuff? Now, I love my city and I love the transition that it's making, but I can't stand these liberal policies and the fact that they don't look at stuff from a business perspective, which slows down what we got going on that enables us to be able to do what we need to do. I can only imagine how long it's going to take me to be able to build a property as far as pulling permits and taking care of business and working with the city and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to go in too hard on my city simply because I know it's not in my best interest, especially for the people that watch the show. And I'm a fan of a lot of the different people that's in a political position. So I'm playing nice. But my problem is, and I called my guys from other cities, why is this such a difficult process? Why am I submitting a proposal to be able to purchase the land from you in the first place if you, the city, are the ones that own the land and you don't even make any money from the property taxes? At the very least, let me pay property taxes on the property before it's developed. And then once it's developed, obviously we'll do a new assessment, and then I'll pay even more property taxes, and I'll be bringing people into the city that want to live there but can't find the proper housing that they want in order for them to be able to thrive in the city. Why is everything so difficult and hard, and why is politics such a arduous process for us to be able to be successful and do the things that's in the benefit of you? Help me help you. You got literally, I am the biggest podcaster in the city of Detroit meaning that I bring the most views, I bring the most positivity, I advocate for the city, and I see business leaders telling me, oh, Anton, that's just a part of the process. You got to cut through the red tape or you're going to have to make a phone call. So now I got to try to make a phone call or find somebody that I know, but I don't really want to make a phone call because I don't want to get them in trouble by them giving me preferential treatment. So I'm trying to go by the same process that everybody else do. But now I see why people cut corners and they say, okay, well, let me call my homeboy in order to get this approved. But then I don't want to put them in a position as the Dalton mayor over there or Chicago over there. Why we got to go through so many processes and hoops in order to be able to build and do what we supposed to do in our own cities? Why is politics the thing that hold us up? Why is government so big, but it's so slow? I'm telling you, man, if I ever become mayor, if I ever do anything, I'm cutting all of this bureaucratic process out. I'm leveraging technology. I'm going to make this stuff easier. I'm going to make it more simple, and I'm going to make it easy for people to be able to be productive. Because this is crazy. Crazy. Insane. Makes no sense whatsoever. So that's just my little rant. That's just my little rant. I just don't understand it. I don't know why everything is so difficult and why it takes so much time. We aging. You see all of this gray in my beard? By the time that I start to actually break ground or the possibility, so if I get my proposal turned down and then you want me to submit something different, is it another 6 months? It's just aggravating, man. It's very, very aggravating. So shout out to the liberal cities. But speaking of liberal cities, let's talk about Chicago because y'all are Gotham City over there. Now, I got a lot of smoke for a lot of different things in a lot of different places, and I ain't even going to talk about Brandon Johnson. I ain't talked about Brandon Johnson in like 2 weeks. So he's on reprieve. It's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for Brandon Johnson. But let me be very, very clear. It's Gotham City over there in Chicago. Oh, you don't believe me? You think that Anton is just talking about Chicago simply because the Pistons beat up on Michael Jordan back in 89 and 90 and that the Detroit Lions just got done whooping on the Chicago Bears just last week? Nah, I don't have anything personal against Chicago. I think that Chicago is the poster child for what is wrong with these liberal cities. Let me show you as an example and give you an example of what has been happening just over the last 24 hours. 24 hours, all right? 24 hours. This is what's been happening in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen.
A warning from Chicago police about 12 armed robberies in just an hour. They all took place on the southwest side between 7:20 and 8:20 this morning. Police say in each case, between 2 and 4 men approached the victims. The robbers were armed with guns and demanded the victims' property.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to
Oh, I didn't get a chance to play this one, so we're going to skip over this part. But this one is actually pretty egregious in itself. Let me see if I can get that back up because I don't know if that's actually going to play. We'll come back to that one. Let's go to the next one because there was actually more robberies that were happening in a completely separate area.
Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving. We're learning new details tonight at 10 about a drive-by shooting that injured 5 teens. It happened just as a concert let out from the United Center, and 911 callers reported hearing up to 20 gunshots. Our Sarah Maki spoke to community advocates about the violence as police search for the suspects responsible.
A traumatic start to the Thanksgiving holiday for several families. Police say 5 teens were shot here just as a concert was letting out of the United Center.
All right, 15 minutes in Sullivan City right now. We're getting a person shot, United Center, 1901 West Madison.
Dozens of evidence markers laid out across the pavement. Gunshots through the window of a nearby taxi.
3-4 shots on my car.
This is what remains after a drive-by shooter unleashed on a busy intersection as crowds were leaving a Rod Wave concert in the United Center.
20 shots heard. Caller saw a guy wearing a mask and a gray shirt.
Police say the victims were 15, 16, and 18 years old. Each of them hit or grazed at least once. Injuries on their arms or legs.
You have changed these people's life.
Community activist Andrew Holmes came to the scene after the shooting, a scenario he's seen play out time after time, this time on a holiday.
Well, it changes the family's plans, you know, other than getting together around the table. you have a missing person that ain't at that table that's in the hospital.
Police say the victims are all expected to survive. They have not identified any of the injured. No arrests at this time.
Upset because of another mass shooting, because you have multiple people. And you were trying to take these people's life. But so far, they are surviving right now. But what was the reason? I mean, why?
Right now, it's unclear if the teens were here as part of the post-concert crowds or if they were walking along this area for another reason.
Don't worry. That was just the second multiple gun shootings, which I would consider a mass shooting, in Chicago. Let me continue.
Is from Chicago's Little Italy neighborhood. The search is on for suspects after two men were shot near 13th and Troop. They were sitting in a parked car when someone in a silver sedan opened fire around 2 o'clock this morning. CPD tells us a 23-year-old man is in critical condition and a 26-year-old man is in fair condition.
Oh, don't worry about it. That's just another thing that happened over the last 24 hours with Chicago. Let me move over to another thing that's happening out here in these streets.
We're also watching breaking news in the south suburbs. Chopper 2 captured a tense scene. SWAT teams used smoke grenades to get a suspected robber out of a liquor store.
CBS 2's Suzanne Lemignot was in Midlothian as it happened. Suzanne?
Well, Midlothian police and the ATF just wrapped up a news conference moments ago. We've learned 3 people are in custody. 2 of those people taken into custody had held individuals in this liquor store at gunpoint before barricading themselves inside. This video from Chopper 2 shows a SWAT team in front of Emporium Liquors here in Midlothian. They were responding to an armed robbery that turned into a barricade situation. A negotiator was sent in. Moments later, a man could be heard over a loudspeaker saying, "Come to the front door of the building with your hands up." Seconds later, on the ground and in the air, our cameras captured a man leaving the building with his hands in the air. He walked backwards towards waiting SWAT members. They got the man on his knees to cuff him. There was an officer on the roof of the building sitting behind what appeared to be a very large weapon. There were police on the side of the building and in front, too.
As we go through story, now remember, this is not a collage of things that's been happening throughout the year. This happened on Thanksgiving. Over the last 24 hours, this is what's been happening while you guys were at the table doing cranberry and macaroni and cheese and greens and cornbread and turkey and chicken and whatever else your heart felt was great. We were over there and my daughter was sitting next to me and I was thankful for her because she had her varsity jacket on and we were showing videos of how the kids have progressed over the last year and all of this great things is happening. So meanwhile, while you and I were trying to figure out how it is that we could prepare for the next day so that we can get our children through school and make sure that we doing the right thing and paying our taxes, and I'm over there trying to figure out whether or not the numbers line up and trying to go through the Patreon and figure out how many people are going to be pitching their businesses so that we can have the right amount of money allocated for you guys. People over in Chicago said that we going on a crime spree because the devil is in the air and we are embracing it. They said a new album came out. The new album came out, new drill album. What drill album just came out in Chicago? And they were killing, stealing, robbing. Even when you wanted to go out to a concert, they were shooting at you. What the hell is happening in Chicago? What is happening in all of these cities within our communities? Why do y'all keep talking about the white man or racism, and you are out there robbing, killing, and stealing from each other? I never understood it. The only time that you can start to have a conversation about the white man or somebody coming against you is when you first have your own household in order. That means that you can start to hold somebody else accountable, because I don't see this happening in any other communities to each other. Who is forcing you to put up the ooh-wop shebang and shoot it at your brother if y'all love each other so much? How can y'all sit here and hold me accountable for not being on code when I'm not the one that's robbing and stealing? I'm the one that's employing and dealing. You rob each other, you kill each other, you hate each other, you talk negative about each other on social media as far as posting up where your ops is at, and you got guns in your pictures. And in 24 hours, I've literally just shown you. I was going to show you 5. I decided to show you 4. There is never a shortage of content that is in my email. Chicago, 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 Chicago. Women getting beat up on Chicago. Men get robbed. Dude get killed. Teens getting clipped off because they breaking into people's cars. Nobody want to go to school. Community broken. Brandon Johnson. Aldermen fighting. Corruption. Chicago don't even own their own streets. Majority black neighborhoods is trash. Southside, new drill rapper. Chief Keef don't even want to live there. Lil Durk don't want to live there. King Von is being celebrated even though he's considered to be a serial killer. New videos released of King Von in jail saying that he's gay. This person, that person, this person, Chicago, Chicago. Ain't y'all tired? Honestly, ain't y'all tired? Yo, I believe that Chicago is the inspiration behind Batman in Gotham City. I believe that Chicago has to be the inspiration between before and after of what Gotham City is going to be like. Yo, if you're not sending in Batman, then don't even go. I know the aldermen invited me. They said, Anton, yeah, man, you can come through. You safe. I don't believe I'm safe. I'm not Hassan Campbell. I'm not. I'm not Hassan Campbell. Somebody in the chat said, rest in peace, Devon. What do you mean? He was a serial killer. Am I off? Why are we saying rest in peace to who was somebody that was identified as a serial killer? Some of his victims' mother came out publicly and said, this dude killed my son, and y'all are saying rest in peace to him. What is wrong with this community? You don't believe me? Here, I'll show it to you. Let me show it to you. What is wrong with this community? Why would you say rest in peace to Vaughn? What about the peace for his victims? So we don't say rest in peace to the victims. We say rest in peace to the killers. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Before my time is up on this earth, I'm going to just completely remove myself from ever talking about the black community altogether. Before my time is up on this earth, I'm going to just have to completely remove myself from participating in conversations with regard to the black community altogether, bro. Because this is crazy. This is absolutely insane if you ask me. I have no idea what we're doing or where we're going or how you guys plan on continuing to fix yourselves while also asking for reparations. But this is insane. I don't even feel safe wearing my Rolex on my live stream in a completely different city while talking about Chicago. That's how insane this place is. That's how I'm going to read the super chat shortly. Give me a second. Because the community needs to be brought to the front of the congregation. When I did that live stream the other day that was called Black Culture, this is like part 2, except I'm going to have Will Motivation come in and kick it with me towards the end of this. But let me show you what's happening out here in these streets also. Robbing, stealing, killing, and then another city girl commissioner is out here in the streets doing the Lord's work. Huh?
New at 4, Clayton County commissioners have voted to remove their vice chair after a stunning controversy. Commissioner Felicia Franklin claimed she was drugged at a bar, but police say they didn't find any proof of that. Video footage apparently shows her passed out on the ground outside the establishment, but cops say a toxicology report found only alcohol and weed in her system. Fox 5's Rob D'Arienzo is live in Clayton County tonight following all this fallout. Rob.
Hey there, good evening to you, Christine. Well, Commissioner Felicia Franklin did not attend today's meeting, but her colleagues voted unanimously to remove her as vice chair of the board. Meanwhile, she posted on social media she remained defiant, and now she's setting her sights on becoming chair of the board.
So, before we continue, let me get this straight. So you were removed because of a public display and a lack of leadership when it comes to making a smart decision as to not being passed out on the front of the ground. And remember, these are not, because you can go over and you can say, well, the Dolton mayor, Tiffany Henyard over there is doing what she's doing or whatever, so on and so forth. These is old chicks. These is your aunties and your mamas. These are your aunties and your mothers that are out here having public displays of idiocy, of being idiots, public displays of being idiots and living like city girls. So it's not just the 19 and the 20 and the 20-year-olds and the 23-year-olds and the 24 and the 25-year-olds. There's also the 40s and the 50 and the 50-year-olds and the 60-year-olds that's out here living like city girls, huh?
After police released this shocking footage of Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin, the rest of the commission voted Monday to remove her as vice chair of the board.
Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Police say the commissioner passed out on the ground outside the 404 Sports Bar and Grill alone. She claimed she was drugged, but investigators say a toxicology report revealed only alcohol and weed in her system.
I still think she's receiving preferential treatment with the charges. If that had been me or anyone else that's non-elected official, they would have arrested us.
On top of losing the vice chair seat, the board...
So wait a minute. So you lied, you got caught in a lie, and you still think you deserve to be a public servant. But see, it's not even the fact that you lied. It's also what you lied about and the fact that you standing 10 toes down on the idea that you lied. So you got caught up, and shout out to AL. You got caught up, and you was passed out drunk with no chaperone on the side of the road, and they didn't even really charge you. They just brought it to the forefront of the congregation and said, hey, this is what your commissioner is like out here in these streets. Commissioner Gordon is out here passed out on the streets. Y'all voted her in office, but y'all don't want to hold her accountable as a result of it. Clayton County, ain't that in Georgia? Another predominantly black environment where people are not holding each other accountable. Cool. So you passed out and then you lied. And then not only did you lie, but y'all city girl commissioners is out here smoking weed, yo. What the heck is happening in these streets? Yo, city girl commissioner was smoking trees before she hit the bar. And then got piss poor drunk. And then passed out on the concrete in front of the spot. They had to take you in the ambulance. And then you said, no, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high. Somebody put something in my drink. Yo, who's trying to roofie Ruthie? Who's trying to roofie Ruthie? You know our old school Mabel, Grace, Ruthie. You know what their names are. Her name just so happened to be Felicia. Who's roofing Felicia? Who trying to get Felicia over to the hotel and give him their room key? Who's roofing Ruthie?
Took away her ability to appoint people to committees and make
Hold on. Let me back up for a minute. I hate the stereotype. Alika Anderson, I know you didn't do nothing wrong. This is not about you. Just a quick question before we continue over with this whole conversation. Just a quick one. Quick question, y'all. Is this how y'all show up to y'all jobs? Now, that's not Felicia. This is Alika. Alika did not get passed out drunk, but I'm just asking a question based off of this being a live show, and I'm observing this. Is this how y'all show up to y'all job? Is this what y'all call professional? Honestly. We just need to throw the whole culture away. We need to throw the whole culture away. What is going on out here? One of the eyebrows is taller than the other one. She looked like she doing like this. We just need to start over, honestly. We need new classes on cleanliness, how to dress appropriate for positions of power, how to present yourself. We got to do it all over, y'all. It's over. It's the black community. The culture is over. It's over. It's done. Before we get back to Felicia, it's done. It's done. It's done. Ain't no saving it. Don't take no remnants from it. Do just like God instructed. And when you go in and you destroy a culture, you get rid of the whole thing. You don't take the gold, the silver, the chains, the rap music. You don't take nothing. Throw it all away and start all the way back over. What is happening out here in these streets? Can you imagine bringing something before the commissioner?
To appoint people to committees and make zoning recommendations.
It's a sad day for Clayton County. I would never expect it or wanted to take this action on any commissioner.
Franklin didn't respond when we asked to talk to her, instead posting on social media that she wasn't going to, quote, haggle with the board over the sanctions since her term as vice chair is up at the end of the year. Instead, she intends on focusing on getting elected chair. Constituents who spoke at the meeting say the unfounded claims of...
And look at this good, wholesome white man with his overalls on, just came back from tending to the farm and making sure that his grass was cut. And he also had to feed the chickens inside of the pigeon coop. And he over here trying to talk to the commission, and he's frustrated because he just drove his tractor over here to Atlanta or to wherever the county commissioner's office is. And she was just passed out drunk, and she trying to get herself together because she took a morning after pill. I don't know. Look at this good, wholesome white man that's in his flannel shirt with his overalls up and his suspenders when he goes out. And this man just came over and drove over on the tractor, and he's trying to have a conversation with the county commissioners, and they're not even taking him serious because this is what we dealing with, y'all.
Drugging hurt the local restaurant she was frequenting the night of September 29th.
She's now caused this man to lose business because she claimed that the rape date drug was in her.
Gwen Gooden, who lives in Franklin's district, wants Governor Brian Kemp to step in and get her off the commission altogether.
Just like we got him to get rid of our infamous sheriff, she needs to go too, because that's the only way we're going to get rid of her, because the boy will not.
And so right now, the way the law is written, the governor can only step in and remove a local official if they've been indicted by a grand jury. And as of now, she faces no charges at this point. Meanwhile,
so let me flip it, right? Because they did a deeper investigation to figure out exactly what happened, because the business owner is losing business because she decided to go in there and get drunk, didn't really tip him the way that she was supposed to tip him, right? Because black people be cheap. Let's just be real. Whenever they see y'all coming over to the table, black people be cheap. She didn't tip the way that she was supposed to tip, of course, naturally. And so she causing this man to lose business. So the news decided to do a deeper dive and investigate what the hell is happening with this woman, because they wanted to know if she really got roofied. They want to know if somebody put something inside of her drink to cause her to pass out that then caused this business to start losing. Oh, she got a booth. She got a booth. You know, as black people, we love booths and bottles. That B&B treatment, we love booths and bottles.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Stouffer. Police are now questioning a local county commissioner's story after she claimed someone spiked her drink at a bar. New at 6, Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie is live in Morrow. And Mark, police told you they have not found any evidence that anyone targeted the commissioner, Felicia Franklin, with GHB.
We can show you drink by drink by drink by drink on video what happened according to a Morrow police investigator. And we can bring you key parts of Commissioner Franklin's side because we've got video of her interview with that police sergeant.
Get him out my face! You gotta get him out my face! I don't give a
After reviewing all these hours of video and body cam video, there is no evidence to support the claim of Miss Franklin having something put in her drink. From the body cam in the
Get him off my face. Get him off my face. You better get the fuck up off me. The ambulance people is in there like, stop it, Felicia. Felicia, you got Felicia, stop fighting the people. Get up, let the fuck up off me.
video at 404 Sports Bar and Grill.
This is Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin.
That is correct.
The Clayton County Commissioner, the cameras, and her claims suggesting she may have been drugged.
Ooh,
Police Sergeant Scott Stewart says he reviewed hours of police body cam video and security video from inside the 404 Sports Bar and Grill to determine what caused Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin to pass out outside the club and later behave combatively in a Morrow Fire EMS ambulance after an officer summoned help because she may have hit her head outside 404 the night of September 29th.
She's been on medication for 2 weeks.
A Morrow police document says, quote, there is no evidence to support the claim of Ms. Franklin having something put in her drink. This is obtained from video at 404 Sports Bar and Grill, unquote.
We are pending a subpoena for blood to see if blood work was done at the hospital when she went.
They didn't draw blood for whatever reason.
Commissioner Franklin has told us her doctor says her behavior and symptoms were consistent with someone having drugged her with GHB, commonly known as a date rape drug. And in fairness, one video shows...
I don't know what they gave. Are you okay? No.
And this is how dudes wind up catching a case. This is how, listen. You're watching it in real time. This is how guys wind up catching a case. Because when the marbles and the chips is on the floor, and it's a possibility of her losing her job, all of a sudden they come to their senses and they say, I don't know what he gave me. I don't know what he did to me. I'm showing you literally the blueprint, and this is the first time that I actually have watched this video. I'm showing you the blueprint. This is how guys catch a case. And this is why you don't believe all women, because this woman is literally lying to you out her teeth. She went to her doctor and got a doctor's note where the doctor said, yo, this is consistent with somebody that's been drugging you, Felicia. She's lying to you, knowing that there's cameras and evidence, and she's saying, I don't know what they gave me. Who is they? Who is they? And this is how y'all catch a case. This is how you catch a case. Real talk. This is literally blueprint 101 of case catching.
Sergeant Stewart said a receipt collected from 404 Sports Bar and Grill indicates Commissioner Franklin paid the tab with a credit card called Committed to Elect Felicia. He suggested a document indicates she had 3 of the That's Home Run drinks. A police document indicates it contains 40 proof Hennessy and Grand Marnier. Plus,
these old hoes love Henny. They love that Henny. Shout out to Benny Hen.
a glass of wine was ordered.
A 9-ounce pour was ordered. The waitress here is delivering the first drink of wine to Commissioner Franklin that she ordered. This is the first home run drink that Miss Franklin ordered after the wine. That would be the second home run that was ordered by Miss Franklin.
Look at her dancing.
She left the drink at the table. Nobody touches it at that table as well. So that's the home run drink delivered by the waitress there. We believe it's her 4th drink.
4th drink, your evidence indicates, ordered and received by Commissioner Felicia Franklin.
That is correct.
I just want to be very blunt with you. You can be blunt. You had 5 drinks. I didn't drink 5 drinks.
Sergeant.
Ma'am, they have your bill and they got you on camera drinking 5 drinks. He got to be blunt with you and tell you how many drinks you had, because he already know how many drinks you had before he been blunt with you. And the first thing that come out of your mouth is, I didn't have 5 drinks. The first thing that come out of your mouth is, I didn't have 5 drinks.
Stewart said the 5th drink, to which he referred during his interview with Commissioner Franklin,
But I didn't order 5 drinks.
Okay.
So I didn't order 5 drinks.
was a swig of someone else's beer he observed on video.
I'm assuming.
But what?
It looked like a Corona to me, or whatever. It was a beer bottle.
That's when I started feeling funny.
Okay.
After the band left is what I told you when I first walked in. That's when it got fuzzy because I don't remember.
So do you think?
Sergeant Stewart says Commissioner Franklin was adamant repeatedly that she did not consume 5 drinks and that she suggested some of the drinks on her bill must have been for other people. He says she did not consume all of at least her first. That's a home run drink, but he can confirm some consumption of other drinks.
Oh, so you see, so wait. So you had a homie sitting next to you, see your friends and family inside of the booth, see him with the Corona. So wait. So you greedy. So you was a greedy one, huh? So you drinking not only your drink, but you drinking drinks that you didn't even order. So you took somebody else's drink and drunk out of their beer too, which they got on camera as nothing ever being put inside of his drink either. So you drinking his drink, your drink, and they drink, and you had some wine on top of it, and you had some Benny Hinn, and then you dancing and having a good time, and you can't hold your liquor, and now all of a sudden it ain't nobody else's fault. Listen. You were better off, and this is the thing that women don't understand, because they don't believe in accountability. You was better off saying, hey, man, I was having a good time. My homeboy had got a promotion on his job. My homegirl had said that she just got proposed to and she got married. We was partying. I ain't know I couldn't hold my liquor. Yo, you better off just saying, yo, I'm human like everybody else. It got away from me. I thought I was going to get some that night because homie was sitting next to me and I thought that he was going to bust me down. The band was playing and they was on top of it. And we was in a booth and we had it going. And my bill was only $87 and I didn't even tip 10. You better off just being real and keeping it real. And people can actually identify with that. But when you sitting here and you ain't taking no accountability.
I didn't even order food. He put everybody on my bill.
I don't care who Patty is, you are my patient.
A Lake City police report says Morrow EMS requested I follow behind them to the hospital. It says at an intersection, the ambulance stopped.
You better get him out my face. I don't give a Get him out my face. You better get him out my face. Not him.
I can't do anymore. I can't take no more. If Aunt Mabel, can't even get her life together, what hope is there for our single baby mamas out here in these streets that refuse to also take accountability for what's going on out here in these streets? If Mabel can't get it together, if Felicia can't get it together, and y'all keep telling me how all of these women are capable of leadership, but they can't even take accountability for the fact that they ordered all of these drinks, we got a problem within our community, ladies and gentlemen. We got a problem. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats, and we're going to move over with the show because I got one more thing that I want to go over before we jump into Will Motivation. Black culture is demon culture, and it is sad, and I agree with you. Shout out to the Kung Fu Hustler. I appreciate you. He also says, we need a dark angel to clean it up. I appreciate you, big dog, for the super chat. AL is in the building, says she out there looking like Smokey on Fridays. Milk Dud is in the building with all of the Milk Duds. Says, Anton, you're rich as F. Leave these ninjas behind and ride off into the sunset. I'm not leaving my chasers. Milk Dud. Bag for Bag is in the building, says, I'm so glad a man didn't choose to buy her a drink because you would have been in cuffs. And it costing you an arm and a leg in order to get yourself together. Ashton came through in the building. Says, AD, I could be wrong, but similar to Chicago, pay to play. Liberals, progressive administrations want to investigate if you are on their team. The liberal agenda, pledge to liberal causes, donors, support Democratic candidates. I have. I contribute to both the Republicans and the Democrats. Didn't y'all know that that's a lesson that I learned from Trump? Trump, before he became president, always contributed it to both sides because he understood that it was a business first. I have contributed. I regularly contribute. But let me go ahead and give some acknowledgement to Ash. Ash says 1,000% agree. Black culture was done in the 70s, 80s, 90s. The signs was there. We're seeing the fruits of black culture behavior. We love blaming white people for everything, but when we get in positions of authority, it's always a disaster. Shout out to my dog Ash in the building. I appreciate you always holding me down, Ash. Always holding me down. So I propose a solution, and this is before I bring my dude Will Motivation up. I propose a solution, right? And my solution is very, very simple. However, somebody asked me a question and it inspired me to go ahead and bring this out today. Somebody asked me a question in the super chat yesterday and it was going back and forth. Back and forth. And I was trying to debate whether or not I actually wanted to present this as a solution, but somebody said, Anton, why are you not advocating for these guys to take the risk to get married? Well, even when you decide that you no longer want to be a part of it, divorce is expensive. Let me go ahead and give you some insight on what's going on out here in these streets of the United States of America. I'm going to read those super chats shortly.
Not less than $150,000. With lost income, it would easily approach $400,000.
Upwards of $100,000 easily.
Between $172,799 to roughly $191,000, of which I still owe $120,929.
Do you know that they actually will put a lien on your house based off of the fact that you still owe your lawyer money for a divorce? Do you know they will put a lien on your property, hoping that you'll one day sell your property so that you can then deed it over to the landlord or deed it over to your new landlord, which just so happened to be your divorce lawyer because of how much money it's going to cost you to get divorced? That man said that it cost him about $150,000 to $170,000 in order to get divorced. Even when you want to walk away and somebody keep telling me that these guys need to take the risk of what? Don't you know that the biggest risk that you ever gonna make in your entire life, which is one of the reasons why it's so important for me to have a conversation, both based off of how you get the bag, but also how you keep the bag and how you mitigate risk. Being a business person is mitigating risk while making calculated decisions as to what's going to continue to add value to you for the rest of your life. Most people are not vetting for the person that's supposed to be with them for the rest of their life. They're vetting for the person that they like right now. And so it's a much greater risk that you're going to be under duress if you don't really understand what it's going to cost you in the end.
Getting divorced in the U.S. isn't cheap. In 2021, there were roughly 2 million marriages and nearly 700,000 divorces. That's a lot of people coughing up a lot of dough.
It's been 4 years of misery, and very expensive 4 years of misery.
While divorces are expensive, how expensive depends on where you live.
Think about it. It's become an industry within itself. The divorce, listen, they're incentivized. This is the thing that people don't understand about politics, government, and everything, right? What y'all don't understand is y'all think that politics and government is all based off of the idea that they're supposed to be doing the thing that's in the best interest of the people. No. It's two things that really come from a lot of politicians that's been in office for a long time, which is one of the reasons why we need term limits. The first thing is that they're in there to stay in office and in power. That's a whole nother conversation. And then the second thing is they're in there in order to keep you turning the wheels of capitalism because it's now become a racket. Listen, there's an entire industry of people that's interdependent on divorcees, which is one of the reasons why they continue to give you bad information with regard to how it is that you're supposed to be operating within a relationship. Think about it. Why wouldn't they want a certain demographic of people to continue to have children out of wedlock and then it cost you as far as family courts because there's lawyers, judges, and an entire industry that's interdependent on it in order for them to feed their families? How is it any different when it comes to the divorces, right? There's an entire industry that is depending on giving you bad information and trying to incentivize you to take risks that you should not be taking, especially uninformed, that then depend on you because it then keeps their pockets full. It keeps several industries within government operating. And then more importantly, it keeps taxpayers paying because it has to keep the wheels of democracy and capitalism turning in order to make sure that a lot of people continue to get fed. They're not going to downgrade or get rid of an industry just because you want what's best for the community. They want you to continue to do it because you're feeding a lot of people in order to continue to do the things that you're doing. Let me share with you exactly how much it's going to cost you to get divorced.
You have children, if you own property, if there's anything you and your spouse disagree on, and several other factors.
The more complex it is, the more hours that are required. Hours by the lawyers, hours by the appraisers, the business valuators, the crypto hunters, the forensic accountants, the forensic psychologists.
According to Elizabeth Douglas, founding attorney and CEO of Douglas Family Law in New York, an uncontested divorce costs between $1,500 and $5,500 on average, and a contested divorce anywhere from $40,000 to $140,000. If the case goes to trial, even more.
Even more than $140,000 for you to just get. Listen, if it's uncontested, it's at least 5 bands. If it's contested, it can cost you up to 140 bands. And that's probably per person. And if it goes to trial,
This is Lindsay Williams, John Norman, and Zoe Hutzler, 3 people who have gone through at least one divorce.
All
they
white.
cost various amounts, but for all, significantly affected their financial circumstances. Let's start with Lindsay, who got divorced twice. Both were uncontested, with no children involved. An uncontested divorce is what it sounds like, uncontested, and it's typically a lot cheaper. A contested divorce is when the couple can't come to an agreement. Lindsay went the cheapest route possible, DIY.
You should pay someone to help you get divorced so you don't have to do it a couple of times. But there are also certain counties that have do-it-yourself programs. You can go online and you can fill out the forms yourself.
Lindsay's first divorce in 1997 cost $1,000. Their second in 2006 was $4,000.
she should probably wrap it up. That's like a 400% increase every single time that she get divorced. That's a 400% increase every single time that she get divorced. She should probably wrap it up. Listen. Here's the point that I'm trying to make to you guys. Everything comes back down to the money. Everything. The bureaucratic process that comes along with trying to get certain things done depending on what liberal city you live in, right? These politicians continuing to maintain power. And even the divorce system that you're going to become a part of if you're not vetting and being very, very careful as far as what it is that you operate like. I don't want you guys to continue to suffer. I don't want you walking into your Felicias and your Keishas and your Ruthies and your Mabels and your aunties out here trying to continue to... Listen, I had a conversation with somebody on a coaching call the other day and I asked her, I said, listen, why do you want to get married? What's the point of it? Not saying that there's not a point that comes along with it, but I just asked her just to see if she understood what marriage means. And she said, well, that's what all women want. I said, but why do you want it? She was just quiet. She never said nothing. She never gave me another answer. She could not give me any insight or understanding as to why it made sense for her to get married, but she just wanted to do it, even though it was going to cost her and him if she did not vet effectively and if it did not make sense for her to get married to the person that she was getting married to. It's a racket. It's an opportunity for them to continue to make money from you and not add value to you. All right? Enough with that nonsense. I want to kick it with my dog. Now, let me tell y'all something about this guy. All right? I've been watching this guy for a long time. So much so, when I seen him get that new Ferrari, I said, okay, he got a new BMW. He got a new Ferrari. This dude done had more exotic cars than I done had cars. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to give him a level of appreciation, love, acknowledgement. I need y'all to give me a round of applause for my guy. I gotta bring my dog Will in. What up, Will? What up? What up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. How you doing, my friend?
Good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. You moving, man. You always moving and shaking, big dog.
Did you get some sleep?
Never.
Oh my God. I don't know how you
No,
do it,
not
bro.
when I'm chasing a dude whose last name is Motivation.
Yeah, right.
How's the new ride?
Oh man, enjoying it, but trying to be smart about it. This is my third Ferrari, and the last one I had, man, I took a big L.
Really? How?
So I bought it for 400. I bought it at the peak of the market. I bought it for 418, and I sold it for like 360.
Would you buy it during the pandemic?
I bought it. Yeah, I bought it about a year and a half ago. So yeah, it was still pandemic. Yeah.
You know, everything during the pandemic, it seemed like it was priced 10 times over. And I don't know if it was as a result of the shortage, but it just seemed like it was money everywhere and everything was just high. Everything was super high.
Took an L, bro. Took an L.
So let me ask you a question. Will, because so I ordered the new Revelto, right? Yeah, I put the deposit in as soon as they dropped it. And I seen you did the video too, right? But I put a deposit in on the Revelto. And then they told me it was going to take me 2 years to get it, right? And then they said, because I know that you're familiar with the process, this is my first time buying the most expensive car that I've ever bought is I got my S Class, and then I got my Porsche, but I've never bought a Lamborghini, Ferrari, or anything like that, right? And they basically said that it was going to take me about 2 years to get it, and then when they called me, it was going to be 6 months before, when I spec it, and then basically I go about it from there. Is that probably about an accurate description of it?
Yeah, but do they know that you're an influencer?
No, they don't know.
Maybe if they know that you're an influencer, they might speed the process.
Really?
They might, yeah. Yeah, they might.
Yeah. Give me some insight on this, because I was curious just about the exotic car thing, and then we can move over into something different. A lot of people that buy Ferraris, and I know that you did a video on it before, a lot of people that are interested in Ferrari are scared to buy Ferraris because they say that Ferrari is really strict with what it is that you can do with the vehicle.
I mean, if you're somebody super high profile, then they might get involved, but I think for the most part, they don't care. Now, if you on a dealer by dealer basis, you take a car to the dealer and you want some warranty work, but you've changed the car around, then yeah, they could have an issue then. But like some people think that you can't own a Lambo and a Ferrari at the same time and all these other things. That stuff's just not true. It's just.
Does it depend on where you buy the car that determines how quickly you get it? Because I bought it I ordered my Revelto from up here in Michigan, but I was starting to think about whether or not I should have ordered it over in either California or down in Florida.
Or even here. Like we're about 3 hours away from you? Or something like that. Yeah, even here. A lot of people, maybe most of the people that are buying the new Ferraris, the new Lamborghinis from Midwestern Auto Group are not in Columbus.
Do you prefer a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and why? Because I know you get a lot of Ferraris.
Lambo for sure.
Why?
All the way around, man. I think the build quality is better.
Really? On the Lambos?
Them Germans, man. Them Germans, yeah, because they own, Volkswagen Audi Group owns Lambo now.
Yep.
So for me, you can see the difference of the. But I mean, not to say that Ferrari build quality is bad, but like I always as long as I can afford it, I'll always have a Lambo. But the Ferrari is like something different. So it's fun to have something different, but that's a rotation car for me. But the Lambo, the one I have now, is gonna stay.
You in the speed or exotics, I ain't really seen you into anything like a Rolls Royce or anything like that.
Nah, I've never growing up, I never pictured myself in, I guess just maybe my personality type. I mean, I might have like a S6 or something like that, Audi S6, like a 4-door, but I never like a big body Benz or like a Rolls I just never got into it.
That's because you don't be having a bunch of people in your car. See, I got a whole family I be hauling around, so I had to get the Benz if I was gonna get the Porsche.
Yeah, my kids are grown, man. I might have my son with me.
Well, you ain't even that old, man. You don't even look old.
I'm old, bro.
I don't believe it, Will. You can't be that old.
Give me your flowers, though, man. Come on here. Let me give you your flowers, man. I got. I saw the first video I saw of yours was at a car dealership because the YouTube, the feed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in the car stuff. I saw you at the car dealership, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like anytime I see a brother out there doing stuff like that, it catches my interest. So I started digging into your videos, man, and let me just give you your flowers, man, for being another example of Black excellence and positivity.
I appreciate it. Well, we catch a lot of flack. You don't even say anything controversial. And I seen you do a video one time, like, man, people coming at me because I got a car or whatever like this and so on and so forth. Why do you think that people tend to, because I mean, our backgrounds is fairly similar, right? I'm in a UX UI. I've been into it for the past, 15 years, and I've worked my way up in corporate America, and obviously in the real estate. We probably, and I want to get into the real estate conversation too after, right after this question. So we have fairly similar backgrounds, and you don't even say anything really controversial, but you catch flack based off of the lifestyle that you live.
Yeah, I think people are not used to seeing like examples like me and you, right? I saw your video. I was looking at your videos last night. I saw your video like where you went back to your house where you grew up.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. It's not a lot of people that come from like where we come from that end up doing what we do, and so they're not used to seeing it, I think. So for me, I have fun with it. Like I'm not too controversial. I had a good laugh out of your video about Richard saying, let me call a ceasefire.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the whole thing with
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you.
Yeah, keep it real. Keep it 100. Like,
I was like everybody else. Everybody else was like, nah, he's not talking about you. Like, nah, he's
man,
Richard is a good brother and all that. But then I started looking. I was like, yo, maybe he is firing shots.
Man,
he is. But at the same time, I think YouTube is different. Like sometimes we get in our own world, right? We could be recording content.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize people are actually gonna watch your stuff, bro.
I watch everybody's stuff. I watch your stuff. I watch his stuff. I like Rich. Well, hold on. I want to get your perspective. Hold on.
I think maybe he was like after I started like watching it. I watched the whole video of yours on that subject. Then I watched some of his videos, and I see a lot of his videos as well. And I've been watching Richard since the beginning of his channel. And I was like, nah, Richard's not firing shots. But then I started looking and listening to your points, and I was like, maybe he is. Maybe Richard is talking, about Anton, right? So, but I think maybe people he probably in his own world, he don't realize that you probably gonna see that. And like other people are gonna see that. And while he may be referring to you, he's not really thinking like people really could put two and two together. So maybe like by the end of your video, I was like, yo, you might have a point here. Richard might be firing some shots here.
I don't understand why he picked me. Of all people that he could have held accountable, why would he pick me? I am the last person that he wanted to pick.
Nah, yeah, I don't think.
Because I'm petty. I'm petty as fuck. Like I will. And then people kept telling me, Anton, just be above it, don't address it. And it's like, because well, here's my thing. I'm not going to criticize, or I'm not going to come at him on some personal shit. Like I don't care about, you know what I'm saying? Like what, his family or anything. Like I'm not on that type of stuff. I'm going to talk about what we talk about, the money, right? And I agree with a lot of what he says, but then I don't like it. My biggest problem is two things. Number one, don't be a hypocrite, because we all show off. You know what I'm saying? We all talk about it. We show our cars. He been doing this shit. He was one of the OGs of this shit, so he been doing it. Don't front, right? That's number one. And then number two, the other side of it is, how you gonna? It's almost like he don't. And I don't like it when people try to put a ceiling on people's success, right? And it ain't even regard to me, because I'm going to be whatever I'm going to be. But it's like he telling people like, no, you just want to be financially free. You don't want to, generational wealth is not really a thing. And it's like, I would like to pass some big numbers the same way that he trying to pass some big numbers over into my daughter, like he trying to do to his daughter. And it's like, so you telling me that if you was able to do it, how come we can't get a game? Because you give a lot of game. You go through, you show the places, you talk about the numbers, you talk about the amount of money that you put into a place, how much you anticipate selling it for. You done brought up the realtors, everything, right? How y'all gonna do the creative financing, or whether or not the interest rates is gonna affect what's going on over there. And it's like, I don't understand why we trying to put a limit on what somebody is able to do if we was able to do it also. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it might be the old kind of an old school mentality, and a lot of times, like I don't know about for you, but like for me, and I do think for Richard, like we might be the first people in our family to kind of have that kind of money, or at least be exposed to the people in our family. Like my parents didn't have money. I
Yeah,
had an uncle
mine
who
and
was like, so being the first time, you might not have even had anybody before you to tell you don't put caps and stuff like that, or don't even move a certain way because you're the first one that actually made it. So, and it's kind of an old school mentality. You know, Rich is a little older than that, so
I try to take that into consideration because I actually think he's a good guy. So
yeah,
I
he
was
is.
just like, I just pulled my punches. Like, I did the one little show, but he started it. I didn't start it. He started it, and then people was like, Anton, don't
It's a
go
good
out there.
video. It was a good video. It was a good video. It was. I was a little bit thinking that Richard ain't throwing shots like that. But then I started really looking, and I was like, okay, maybe he is referring to you, but maybe he's not. He's not intentionally. See, like he probably got into his own world, not realizing you and other people that know you and watch you could realize that he's talking about you, and where he's being general, like this, that, and the first class and the Rolex and stuff. So what made it so funny is how you broke it down.
It's like, no, if you go through his videos, it's all the same thing. He got the cars, he got the 458 at the top. He got cars I ain't never even had. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And then Rich, let me tell you something, bro. And I love Rich. And, I don't have anything negative to say about Rich. And I even told people, like, man, leave that man alone. Don't mess with him. Like, let him do his thing. Rich, the thing about Rich, Rich work his ass off. Rich be cranking out the videos. He be live streaming, dropping videos. And that's cool. That's dope. Go and get your bread. Rich broke it down like, man, I made over $500,000 just off YouTube last year. And it's like, so why you acting like you ain't out here getting it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you
come
made
on, bro. Stop, bro.
nah, you made some really good points, bro. Like that's what made the video enjoyable. It's just funny, man. Your point of view, you had me cracking up on that video, man.
But I
And
do. I think he's good, though. I like him, though.
I saw the video that you did on me when I had the Ferrari. I was like, man, do I even want to watch this video? Because
Why, you thought I was going to talk negative about you?
Yeah, I thought, because there was this one guy. There's this one guy who did a video on me a couple of times where I would talk about my monthly payment,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying if I'm making a monthly payment, then I really can't afford the cars.
That's a myth. That's the biggest myth that people say that they don't know. They think they know how rich people operate, and they don't.
Yeah, he was swearing up and down. So I was like, am I gonna watch this video and then I won't have an opportunity to defend myself. So I kind of was like, damn, do I even want to watch it? But I watched it and it's like, yeah, you see what it is. Like you see exactly what it is.
I'm a fan, bro. Like, just as much as we are all kind of peers in a way, I'm still a fan because
Likewise.
the way that I do it, because even when it comes to real estate, my strategy is completely different from yours as far as how it is that you make money from it. Whereas me, I'm not even leaning on the real estate because I generate so much revenue outside of it. I'm trying to get rid of the money. So that's why I kind of just deploy it as much as possible. And I haven't gotten rid of any property. I haven't sold anything. Whereas you give the game from the perspective of how you can make a lot of money based off of how you invest in it, and then you getting rid of it, or you doing whatever it is that you want to do with it based off of whatever the market conditions are. So it's so many different ways to make money and skin a cat. But then it's almost like it's people that don't. It's like people only want to be the only one to make money. I don't understand that.
Like for real. If somebody learns anything from me and they can do better than I can do, that's even better if you ask me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we all like I sometimes like in business, like a lot of people don't realize, like I made most of my business really in technology, like in
Yeah.
tech and software and that kind of thing. But I invested in real estate, and I talk about the real estate because I think people can understand it a little bit more, and they
Mhm.
feel like it's a little bit more accessible, attainable, that kind of thing. But hey, somebody could do way better than me in the real estate, and that's all good. So if I could have a part of showing somebody something, then good. But hey, I caught the tail end of the divorce conversation, man. I thought that was pretty
Well,
interesting.
I never see you talk about relationships online, big dog.
Wait, what was I just caught the tail end of it. I would love to add 2 cents because I went through a divorce, bro, and
Did you
that was
really?
yeah. That was
Would you ever get married again?
at first when I first got divorced, I was like, no, I wouldn't do it because it's like a contract with the state, and if you can't figure it out between you two, then the state gonna figure it out for you. And it was not good. But then after some time, because I've been divorced now for about 10 years or longer, about 12 years. Then I was like, okay, it's possible, but the mistakes that I made before that got me in that situation, I would I wouldn't make again, which makes it so hard to find somebody that you could really go down that kind of a road with.
You think that the dating pool is trash now, Will? You could just say it.
Man, it's hard. I think it's just hard to find quality people. It's hard, man. It's hard, especially when you have super high standards for yourself, right? And then who you gonna build with and
Yeah.
trust. Yeah, it's
But
hard.
why even get married though, Will?
That's a good
Because
question.
your kids is big, right? Your kids is grown, and you've been able to accumulate a lot of visibility, a lot of wealth. You know, you in a great space. I think it's different when you get married younger versus getting married older. And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm wondering. Like, what would be the point for you in particular to get?
Nah, it would not be on my list of goals. And if I met a woman and she wanted to get married, I would be like, why? I'd be like, what
Somebody
is
in the
the
chat want me to ask you this. They said, "How much did it cost you?"
my divorce?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can break it down real fast. In lawyer fees, probably maybe like 20,000 maybe. In stuff I had to do. So I had 2 kids. Um, I had a house in the Dominican Republic. I had to give her the house in the Dominican Republic. It was about $50,000. And the smartest thing I did was instead of the child support, I didn't want to go to the child support system because you know what happens to brothers. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the child support system, bro,
Yep.
that's a nightmare.
Yep.
So I negotiated not doing that and instead letting her stay in the house that we had here, and I would pay the mortgage.
Mm.
But after my kids turned 18, that's all me. That was the hardest thing I did, bro. And the funniest thing about it, when I came out of it, her lawyer was on the phone, like, "Yeah, we won." He was talking to his wife. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
won." I was like, "For real?" Like it's like that. Yes, you won.
yeah.
And I was like, "Nah, that's the smartest thing I did is." But I'm gonna give my kids. They can have the house when I'm gone and everything. But I didn't throw any money away in the child support system. But I still take care. Like when you're blessed, bro, you
Yeah.
a lot of stuff just roll off your shoulder. Like, look, I'm gonna just if it's good for my kids because they connected to their mom, then it's all good. I don't worry about too much stuff.
So you still
But
cool with the mother of your kids?
man, it was a long time, a lot of petty, like not cool, a lot of not being cool, but trying to calm down as we got older
Mm-hmm.
and just try to think about okay, what is good for the kids, even if we got to pretend like what's good for them, because we could really mess their perspective up by not treating each other good. You know what I'm saying? It's hard when the other person is not with you on that level, trying to be mature and stuff.
Yeah.
So a long time the answer is no, but we try. Like the older we gotten, the better we gotten at least just being cool and stuff.
What about how much do you like dedicate? Because you obviously you got multiple different streams of income from different things that you got going on. How much time do you even have to allocate towards entertaining a woman in the first place, though? Because like I could tell you for me, and even though I'm married, man, I don't have no time. Listen, even if I wanted a side chick, I can't swing it. I can't. I don't have the capacity, bro. I just can't swing it.
Nah, it's hard, bro. When I was married, we had to we would like try to do counseling and stuff towards the end, and we had to make dates because my whole thing was because I was still doing the 9 to 5, right?
Mhm.
So wake up, go to the job, 9 to 5, come home. Then she would go to work, then I'll take care of the kids till they go to bed about 9 o'clock. Then 9 to about 3 in the morning, work. I was working, I was on the computer, right? And then on weekends, it's like, oh, this is my time to get ahead because I was building my business.
Mhm.
And so we had to make time like for me and her to have time. And I was kind of like, and she wasn't used to that because when I met her, I was spending time on her and,
Mhm.
I was taking her out and stuff and trips and all the attention was on her. But then when we got married and had kids, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna take care of these kids. What if I get, lose my job? I gotta have backup plans. And so I went into work mode, and I think it had something to do. So yeah, it's hard. But now, 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 so I have like a system now. Now it's like, so I travel a lot. I have 4 condos in Colombia. And I
Mhm.
got a brother who's married down there. So my social life is like down there.
Mhm.
When I'm here, which is most of the time, I just work. I just work and see my kids whenever they want time to do stuff. Kids work on the weekends in the summertime. Living here in Ohio, Michigan, in the summertime, okay, you can go out and do stuff, take the cars out and stuff like that on the
Yeah.
weekend. Saturday. But nah, it's just here. I don't have like no dating life or nothing like that.
Yeah, I got rid
Now,
of my bike because the Michigan weather, this Midwest weather, I wound up getting rid of my bike because I didn't, first of all, I didn't have no time to ride it because I was grinding so much. But even when I did have time to grind, to ride it, I only had like 4 or 5 months out of the year that I could ride it. And so it was just kind of like a wash. I thought about going and buying another one, but nah, I just wound up getting rid of my bike.
now, so I'm here. So, like I said, I'm giving you your flowers, man. Anytime I see a black man who's trying to be positive, is about their family, like I seen you with your daughter and stuff, man. I applaud that, and I love it. So it's hard for me not to like, sit here and be wanting to ask you a bunch of questions as well. So I
No,
gotta
you can
like.
ask me whatever. I'm down for whatever.
So where are you at now? So I saw you're experiencing UI UX. I saw your experience like your educational background, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So how did you transition to where you are now? And do you still do any of that like tech stuff?
Heck yeah, I still got a regular job.
Okay.
So I retired in 2019, right before the pandemic. In October
What does that
2019.
mean? Like I've heard you say that, but I don't know what like.
So I had accumulated enough money and enough wealth and assets to where I had got to the point to where I felt like I was straight for the rest of my life.
Were you
You know what I
investing to get there,
mean?
or
Yeah,
were you?
100%. I had a lot of stock. I
Okay.
had worked my way up in corporate America because I had worked for a mid-sized bank. So okay, so let me back up a little bit. I got
'Cause I,
recruited to work in Google in Mountain View, and they flew me out there, right? And so me and my wife had went out there, and I started doing the math and the cost of living out there compared to what it is that they was offering me. It just didn't make sense for me to uproot my family and then move out there. But instead, what I did was I went over into a legacy company, which was a bank, and they basically gave me the keys, right? And so they said that you can basically build out your own practice. So we built out the entire UX practice at a mid-sized bank or whatever, right? And so throughout that, I was able to be able to level up and get to certain places, and they gave me a lot of stock options and equity as a part of my
okay.
compensation package when I negotiated to go over there in the first place, right? Because they knew that I was flying out to Google, and so they gave me a great compensation package. Because even when you negotiate in those packages, and this is the stuff that I be telling people a lot of times, you want to forego the base salary in order to get the equity and the bonus options, because first of all, you can defer it. Secondly, you work for the bonuses, but third, the equity is the thing that really gets you the money, right? So I got out of I had built my own restaurant, but then I had invested in two. I was a silent partner in two other restaurants. And so I got lucky because I got out of the restaurant business at the end of 2019, and then I had retired from corporate America. So I was chilling. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to spend some more time with my daughter. I was 37 years old, but then I got bored as hell. I ain't had nothing to do. And the pandemic had just set in right after that. And then content creation took off, and I couldn't buy no more real estate because the prices was out of control, right? And everybody was paying a $50, a $75, $100,000 over asking price for everything. So I just threw all of the money into paying off all of the mortgages for the properties that I own. And then I was just chilling. And then during the pandemic, a guy that I had a great relationship with at the other bank, he had went somewhere else to another bank, and he had recruited me. And he was like, Anton, we'll give you whatever. And I was like, I can't do it. And he said, why can't you do it? And I said, because I'm too crazy on social media. It's not gonna fly, you know. And so he was like, oh no, we'll still let you be able to do what you want to do. You ain't got to come in. So they gave me a crazy offer, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get out of there. But they pay too much money, and it's not messing up my schedule or anything like that. So it's almost like stealing money at this point.
Blueprint. Man, but that's so much of a blueprint, bro. Like, that's why I love that you document when we're bro, by you spending the time doing this, like I gotta thank you for those that come behind us.
Yeah.
Because you're putting down like a document. So you look at where you come from, you got all that time period, a person, and now you're sharing that experience. You're laying out a blueprint for those that come behind you. Because like for me, like I would have looked at your story when I was in high school. If I wanted like the nice cars and a certain lifestyle and that kind of thing, I would have looked at a person like you and be like, okay, what's the blueprint? Because I didn't have anybody like in my neighborhood.
I didn't
like
either. I didn't either.
So that's love, bro. I love it, bro. So I really want to dig into
But
more.
you doing this? I mean, you doing it too. Like, it's very rare for you to see people in tech or to own their own companies, to own their own businesses, and then to leverage that information and the finances, and to be able to get into real estate and do a lot of that different stuff. Like you inspirational too, and that's why when I watch your stuff, I'm always happy for you. Whether it's the M4 or the new Ferrari, right? All of that stuff. I love it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like it's a shortage, and when you successful, I can lean into you and I could tap into you and I could say, hey, Will, how will you plan this? Or what do you think about this deal? Whatever. I look at you as, an asset, as somebody that I can tap into that's a part of my network, that if I got a question, I can ask you. Not right now, I just started getting into actual development, right? So I'm building like my first 3 houses. I'm catching some L's though.
Are you managing the subcontractors and stuff?
So my contractor is also my architect, but he's retired because he the dude that actually helped me build some of my businesses. So I don't have to oversee it. My wife is.
That's good. That's good.
She just run everything by me, but she oversee the whole process. It's different. It's way different than anything that I've ever experienced from a real estate perspective before.
You can make some good money. Like I built one house from the ground up where I managed it. And it took a long time, but it's my most profitable home or investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done a lot where I would just come in, like get somebody to build a house that's a builder.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make as much profit, but it's a lot easier. But I'm heavily invested in 2 properties right now. And they're the slowest that I've ever moved, but they're the most expensive too.
But are they you didn't have to develop them though. You went in and you changed it and you upgraded everything though, right?
Yeah, and
one of them I think you showed, right?
What'd you say?
Then one of them you showed because you were saying how you need to change the ceiling fan and stuff like that in there.
Yeah. So they're a builder. So they build out neighborhoods. So I just got in and with them and said, okay, build me this house like this and build me that house like that. Or the other house, I was just a silent investor. I just put the cash up for it.
I thought that I was going to be able to do this in 6 months. It's taking a whole year per property.
Yeah, my one that I did by myself took at least 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I got into it by mistake. Because it wasn't anything for me to buy during the pandemic. And my realtor, he was like, Anton, I got a lady that is going through a divorce and she wants some property in a divorce and she want to get rid of it so she can move away with her boyfriend. So she wound up selling property to me for cheap. And then the idea had sparked in my head. And I was like, yeah, it was all land. But it wasn't crazy because all of the hookups was still at the street. I didn't have to do any septic tanks. Everything was free and clear as far as it wasn't no back taxes or anything owed on them. And so it just kind of clicked in my head. And then once lumber prices came down, because it was like 4 times higher than they are now, I went ahead and started the development process. It's taken longer, but based off of the numbers that we run, and even with some of the mistakes that I had to learn through, it's going to be significantly cheaper than if I was to have to buy a turnkey, bro.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
way cheaper, Will.
It might take longer, but you make way more money. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You gonna turn around and sell it, or you gonna hold it and rent it out?
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Because I'm going to tell you honestly, at first I was like, you know what, I'm going to just build them and hold them. But once I started building them, and now that I'm running the numbers, and I'm about 4 to 5 months away from finishing this other property, because the framers actually start a week and a half from now, I kind of got this hack in my head where I'm like, well, based off of the margin of profit of what's selling as far as the comps that's happening over here, I can build 4 and sell 2.
Yeah.
And really they paying for the build without me having to really put my own money up because of the gap between what it's costing me to build and what it's, what I can sell it for. So I'm kind of conflicted now because I don't know if I want to keep them all or if I want to sell 2 of them and then maybe build 5, sell 2 of them and keep 3 and let the 2 kind of pay for most of what it is it costs me to build all 5 of them.
Let me give you 2 ideas, or not ideas, but just things to think about. So a lot of people, one of the secrets, a lot of people are like, how did you pay off your property so fast? I got like 24 properties right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got 17 and I'm building 18.
So I had about 50 or 60.
Really?
Right? Yeah, but a lot of people don't realize that. But most of my properties now are paid off, probably except for about 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way I did it is I was buying as much as I could, and then as the market changed and went up, I sold almost half of them or more than half of them, and that's where the money came from to pay out the ones that I have now. Because my idea was, let me have these properties that are free and clear that if I retire one day or I want to chill,
yep.
And I got that. But so that's the one side, which is dope. But the other side is, bruh, if I had kept them Jones,
that's why I'm conflicted though.
Bruh, if I had kept them joints, my net worth would have been like double probably.
I've never sold a property, Will.
Bro, if I had kept them joints, I would have been sitting on another 6 million, 7 million, 8 million in net worth if I had kept them.
So my logic is this though, right? So this is my logic. So with the 17, and then I'm halfway done with building 18. I'm starting 19 because we just got done pulling the permits for it, and we got the surveyors out there. And then I just bought a property again out here in Oakland County, so I bought a third one. So that'll be 20. So on the 17 properties, I average about $2,300 in rent per month, right? But they all at this point they free and clear, and some of them higher, some of them lower. But you average about $2,300. I take home about $39,000 a month in profit. But then obviously you got to take out insurance, property taxes, and then possible repairs and stuff like that. But I don't really be having that many repairs or whatever. I got some really good tenants. I want to get to between 40 and 45 properties. That'll give me around $100,000 a month, to where I can just sit back and chill when I don't have to grind as hard anymore. But then at the same time, I kind of I kind of got the play now of how to acquire the property. I've acquired all of the contractors now. Got great relationships with them. The surveyor, the excavators.
Are you managing all that too?
Huh?
Are you managing all that, or you have somebody?
No, he managed it. My architect is managing it.
And even the property management for what?
I don't have no property managers at all.
So, but you manage that, like rent?
I manage the actual properties. Yeah. Well, they don't call for nothing though. I had to change the only big ticket items that I had to do this summer. I had to do the HVAC, the furnace, and the air. Right, that cost me $7,000 because I did them both or whatever. Because whatever Freon that they were using at a property, they said that it was super expensive and they wasn't going to be selling it anymore. I guess past a year. So I wound up just swapping out the whole unit, and I had to do a dishwasher, which I just ordered from Home Depot. Usually if they call me, I'll either say, hey, just take it out of the rent, because I got some pretty good tenants. So I'll say, take it out of the rent, or if they need me to order something, I'll order the dishwasher, have it sent over there, and then I'll just have it installed. But I don't want to give no money to a property management company, man. I feel like that's robbery, bro.
Yeah, I have a person who was like my assistant, right, for my main business. And as she got good at doing the main job, I wasn't taking that much time, so I turned her into the property manager, and she's doing stuff all the time. She's running around doing stuff, but now that's good, dude. You got the blueprint, brother. You got the blueprint.
It's not difficult either. People think that it's super difficult. It's not difficult, bro. I think that it's a lot of people that's they try to do what you do and they get caught up.
Yeah, that's why I try to like with my channel and stuff. That's why I try to talk about the real estate, because where I really made most of my money, bro, is something that people ain't gonna really do. Like me and you have this technical background, right?
You need a shovel. You need a big shovel.
Yeah, and I had to go to school. You know, a lot of people ain't trying to do that for 4 years.
Yep.
And I did corporate America, and then I took some big risks and started my own business. That's where most of my money came from. But I don't think now I still talk about it because there's gonna be some people that do it. Like I mentor a kid here that I met a long time ago at a car show, and now he's at Ohio State about to get his computer science degree.
Nice.
And he's gonna be straight. You know, he's gonna be straight. But a lot of people won't take that route, so I don't talk about it as much.
Do the same thing. My editor is a guy that just graduated with a software engineering degree, and he just got his first job.
And probably doing good, probably.
Yeah, he my nephew. But I mentored him since he was a young kid, and I was pushing him into the same industry that I was going into. He's doing incredible. I'm gonna tell you a hack that I use, but I'm gonna tell you offline. I give it to some of the people. I give it to the people on my Patreon all the time. But I'm gonna give you a hack that I use for my web development company that helped me make about a good $500,000 to $750,000 additional a year.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you offline. I can't tell you online though. It's super simple, but you're gonna love it, Will. You're gonna love it.
Man, bro, just to see you out here doing it, man, I love it. Like, and even with the content creation, man, I love it because it's adding so much value and just giving a, like I said, the blueprint, bro. So keep up the excellent work.
I told you I followed you. Well, how long you been doing YouTube?
Since about I had like little videos that I would post before I was really trying to do YouTube, but I think I officially got into it like 2016.
Yeah, man, I've been following you, man, and your journey, bro. I've always been a fan of you, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Like I like to say real recognize real. Like, but a lot of times, like for me to even justify spending the kind of money I spend on the cars and stuff, I couldn't buy a Lamborghini, bro. Literally, I could not buy a Lamborghini until I could figure out how to justify spending that much money on a car. And then when I saw YouTube and this dude Stradman who had this Lamborghini,
yeah, dog, he blew the hell up, bro.
So
he blew the fuck up. I was following him when he was man
in the very beginning. But when I saw him do it, I was like, yo, that's how I could make sense out of this, because if somebody can see somebody like me, you can see Stradman, right? But let's just keep it real, like it's a white dude.
Yeah, of course. He got it. He got a fan. Yeah.
That's cool and everything. But maybe there's some people that are not going to relate to him, and they're going to automatically think because he's a white dude that they can't do what he did. But if they see me and I tell them my story, like where I come from, nobody gave me anything, but I had to find a way to do it, then that's how I could justify buying this expensive car by sharing my story and hoping somebody sees it, and then they can be like inspired to be like, I can do it too.
Yeah.
Then I can buy the car.
Yep.
That's what made me start YouTube. Then I seen all the potential in it, man.
Oh, this shit is so much money. I'm gonna tell you, Will, I make so much fucking money from YouTube, bro. It's out of control, bro.
So when did it start? When did it start blowing up for you? Because I saw some of your early videos. Man,
I did. I had about, I think I hit like 50,000 before the pandemic, and then it had started eclipsing like 60. But then when I retired, I was like, well, I might as well just go ahead and kick it. I was bored as hell in the car. So I had bought a place and I moved down to Miami during the pandemic or whatever, because they had more freedom than what the hell was going on here in Michigan. But I had like some viral videos I hit. I had one that did like 1.7, and that was like me doing this talking about the high roller lifestyle, casinos and stuff like that. But then it took the fuck off during the pandemic. Like it really took off.
Okay.
And when that type of bread started rolling in, I was like, Cause bro, just and that ain't even got nothing to do with the sponsorships or none of that type of shit. But man, well, if I showed you some of my monthlies, you would be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
How many channels you got?
Right now, I got four. I got four that I have to be visible for, but then I got five total. Is one that I'm not a part of.
Okay.
And so we bust down 100,000 a month at
And
least.
YouTube? Yeah, see, I'm nowhere near. I'm nowhere, but I seen some
Crazy, bro.
stories. So I've been like, I need to invest more time. But my problem is, like, I still do it as a hobby, and I know at some point, like, it'll cross over into being like another job or business for me, where I don't know if I'll be as
No hobby for
passionate.
me, Will. It's real. For real, for real.
That's why I gotta applaud you, bro. I gotta applaud you, man. It's knocking this stuff out.
It's insane, bro. It's
That's
out of control, bro.
that's dope.
But yeah, I mean, it's like honestly, it's I don't know, man. It's just so many different ways to make money. Whether you in real estate, whether you own certain businesses, and I done did it all. Like, I mean, not all of it, but I done did a lot to where, some businesses is more profitable than others, and why would I spend like even when I had the restaurant, the margins was low, but it was profitable. But then when you start to break it down, it didn't make sense to spend. I had to spend like sometimes 10 and 12 hours at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so even a little bit of profit that you make, and it don't make sense when you can make way more money over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
way I
yeah.
negotiated my leases, and I was telling some people the way that I negotiated my leases, even when I went into a brick and mortar store, we negotiated to where it was an escalating lease. So we had the option to exit every single year. Even with my studio that I got, it's an escalating lease. So basically the way that it happens is instead of doing a 5 or a 10-year lease, we do it to where we got 2 years up front and then the option to renew every single year at a higher rate over the next 10 years. And that way we not on the hook if we decide that we want to get out of there and move somewhere else. Whereas we still have control over the property. It's our option to renew over the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of little hacks that we use in order to get certain write-offs and all of that other type of stuff. So
let me ask you this. So if you didn't have somebody in your family that was guiding you into making the decisions that you made to get where you're at and to get all these different avenues of making money and revenue, what do you think it was about you or something that happened with you that got you exposed to all of these things where you're making money and finding these opportunities?
Oh, my family didn't inspire me to do it. My family, a lot of my family was like, you dumb for doing this YouTube thing. You dumb for going into tech. You need to just go get this regular fucking job. You dumb for, going to school while you, like a lot of my family, they wasn't with the shit, honestly. And so, but for me, like a lot of the businesses that I was a part of, so like I made a decent amount of money early, but one of the reasons why I even got interested in software engineering was because for me to really capitalize off of e-commerce, I wanted to learn how to build the platforms myself. So, I started taking classes, and first I started going through the whole, going down this internet rabbit hole, and then obviously you start getting into GitHubs and you start going into Stack Overflow to try to understand exactly how stuff is happening. And then you do the basics, you go into, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, and all of that stuff. And this was around the time that apps started going off and everything. So I got into it because I was just interested in building my own businesses more effectively. And even back then, they didn't champion designers as much. It was really all more back end, right? They
I remember.
championed the developers earlier on, right? And so UX, UI, and the whole, user interface, UX evangelism, all of that stuff didn't start really catching fire until maybe in the early 2010s, early, 2015 or whatever. And so, I got into it for that reason, start building my own applications and built my own company and stuff like that. And so my inspiration for it was I seen the money in it. I seen the opportunity. I always wanted to be incredibly rich. And I just wanted to be rich, man. I didn't want to live no regular life, bro.
Yeah, I feel you.
I ain't never wanted to just get a fuck that. I wanted to be. That's why I can't relate to Rich, right? Because when Rich he speaks to the average guy, and I
Yeah.
was, I come from a Detroit broke as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to be regular. I don't know nobody that, bro, Rick. I don't know anybody that just want to be regular. Everybody playing a fucking lottery because they got dreams of what they want to drive, where they want to travel. Ain't nobody just trying to be regular, man. Ain't no, man, I'm not about to work 30, 40 fucking years to die in 10. Fuck that. I want my junk now and then.
Yeah.
So I got
That's
a different motivation, bro.
yeah. That's like me, man. I was tired of being broke, bro. You got every corner you turn, like, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we afford to get basic stuff?
Yeah.
Answer no, because there's no money. I'm like, yo, that don't make no sense. Like, people are educated. Like my parents, the one thing that was good, like where we didn't have money, I was rich and like good family and value education and stuff like that. And my parents, both were educated and stuff, but they weren't focused on making money.
Yeah.
And I was like, this don't make sense that we're broke but people smart as I don't know what, in the family and stuff. It was like, that's not gonna be me. I might not be the smartest one in the family, but I can make up for it and hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figuring out what I was good at and what I was bad at, I stayed away from. But no, that's dope, man.
Well, mine was different though, Will, because my family had got money before I was old enough to understand it, and they fucking fumbled it. So my grandmother, when I was like 1 year old, I wasn't even 1 year old. She had got burned up at a hotel, and so she called a lawsuit. And so they had got like, whatever, several $1,000,000, but they distributed amongst the family or whatever. And so the family was living like fucking rappers, right? My grandmother had a baby blue Rolls Royce with a white top in the early 80s. Now, I'm born in 82. I only get to see pictures of it. By the time I turned 9, 10, 11 years old, family fucking broke. We still living in Detroit. I'm catching a bus to school every day. And so that inspired me. And I'm like, damn, like, I can't believe my family fucking fumbled the money, didn't leave me no money. And
How old were you?
my dad, by the time that I realized that my family had money, I was like 9, 10 years old.
Okay. But you was calculating that stuff.
Well, I seen the pictures. You know what I'm saying? So, my dad, he worked his whole life and he died broke. I had to pay his tax bill because my mom was still on the hook for it when he passed away in 2017. Right. And so part of the reason why I was even building a restaurant was it was a vehicle for him to kind of have his own thing and for him to retire from it. Right. But then he passed away in the middle of us building a restaurant. And I was like, damn. So I just finished it. And then eventually when the lease was up for me to be, for the property, for us to be able to get out of it. And that was at the end of 2019. I got the hell up out of there, bro.
Okay.
But I seen my family fumble that shit early in life. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to be living in the hood. Like, this is some bullshit. They was walking around with gold chains and taking cruises every day and all of this shit. And then they wound up not being regular as hell. And I was like, oh, nah, this ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, it's smart, man. You analyzed it. It's funny because so many of us can come from the same background and situations, but the decisions we make can take us down totally different roads.
Mm-hmm. It was the best
so
thing that happened to me for me not to have money, you know what I'm saying, growing up.
Yeah, it's hard too when you got kids. You're trying to like balance stuff.
Oh, my daughter is out of control spoiled, bro. She out of control spoiled, bro.
Yeah, see, my kids are spoiled but didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to have that balance,
Yeah.
Especially like when I was growing up, I couldn't turn to my parents and be like, hey, if I work hard and I do this, can you give me some money or can you give me an opportunity or something? I couldn't really do that with my parents. With my kids, I try to make that the thing. Like, okay, you want something? Okay, let me shoot. Like, let's make some goals and stuff. You do these things, and then you can get what you want. Because that's how life works.
That's not how my daughter is. My daughter, like, I'm daddy's girl, and forget all that. I ain't about to be doing none of that. Dog, her birthday list, because her birthday in February, she get her license. She got her license, but she get the license to where she can drive herself. Dog, she had a Ram TRX on there.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, what kind of list is this? She was like, Dad, I did just all my dream cars. I'm just gonna put them out there. If you decide to get one, then cool. Man, she got,
TRX on there.
she put a TRX. The cheapest car she got on there is the Bronco Raptor.
Wow.
Yeah, she got a Urus on there. She got a G-Wagon on there. She got a TRX on there.
That's crazy.
Oh, she got the Land Rover on there, so that's not as bad. Not the big one, but the
Okay, the little.
yeah.
Little.
But other than that, man, she got some crazy. She's just like skipping. I'm about to ball. Forget that. Yeah, she be living. She be.
Yeah, I got my daughter I got her a new car to go back and forth to school.
Mm-hmm.
But I got some family in Detroit, matter of fact. So when she graduated, hooked up with my family in Detroit. I bought a car off of one of my cousins, and I gave her that was a used car. I said, "You take care of this,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll get you a new car." You know what I'm saying? She ain't know what to do, bro.
So okay, so hold on, Will. Now I got to get some advice for you. So what should I get her? Right? What should I get her? Something that's decent, like, because I was thinking about getting the Bronco Raptor, but I don't know because it's like I don't want to
Well,
just waste it.
well, if your daughter will take care of stuff, and you know her, and she like if you say, "Hey, you got to get good grades, you got to do these
Mm-hmm.
things," she's a good kid, and she does those things. Then maybe if you get her that something really nice, maybe it won't have a bad effect.
Yeah.
But if she's not like taking care of stuff that you want her to take care of, and then she still gets the good things, she might not realize that she has to be like on point, at least with what you say,
Yeah.
how you guide her, But at the same time, if I had to redo anything over again with my kids and stuff, because my kids are a little older now, man, if I had to do anything over, it wouldn't be stuff like that as much as it would be trying to set a better example, getting along with her mom and making sure that I can guide that whole situation so that even if her mom and I are different, she can't stray too far away down, without that balance of having the two parents.
Yeah.
And that would have been way more important than stuff like me getting her a new car. Just like
I'm
that.
good on that front though.
Yeah. So you probably, that's why I'm sitting here thinking, like, if your daughter, as long as your daughter comes out good, man, and she's healthy mentally and emotionally, like that might be a small thing. Like the big things are that, like, she's emotionally healthy, mentally healthy.
Yeah, she in a good space. She's ranked right now. Well, she was number one. Now she's number two for her age group. She's a second degree black belt in Taekwondo, and she traveled across the country. She's ranked number two in the country for her age group. So we went over to the Dominican Republic. She competed over there. She competed in Tokyo. So
She kicking ass, taking names.
oh, Will, bro, she just went viral, bro. She literally just went
That's
viral.
crazy.
So, cause she knocked the girl out.
Bro, that's the most important thing, bro. Oh, with a kick or something?
Yeah, she knocked the girl out with a kick, and she went viral for it.
Oh.
So I try not to post her too often because you know how the internet be internet. But yeah, she just went viral because she knocked some girl out with a head kick. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Man,
It's
I'll tell you,
pretty insane. Oh,
if
here it
she's
is.
good on that front. Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh.
She don't.
Were you there?
Yeah, I'm telling you, she don't fuck around. Like she is a savage in real life. Like she trains 6 days a week. All she do is she hang out with her friends or whatever on Sunday or whatever. But Monday through Saturday, she trains 6 days a week. She do her homework. She take care of her business. She clean her room. She do all of her chores, and then she that's all she do. She say all she want to do is train, and then she go and she compete. And she get fans and, other schools try to recruit her and stuff like that. She get invited to special things, but she beat people up like in real life. She fucked people up in real life, bro. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, man.
It sounds like to me, man, if she's good on that front, like, it's just a perk that she has parents that can do something extra nice for her. But the biggest thing you could do for her, sound like you already are doing it. She's built up to have a healthy, like, mental state and emotional state
Yeah.
and responsibility. If she's good there, like, what advice could I give you? You know what I'm saying? Like, on that front,
No,
that
I
front.
mean, you did it. So I'm always taking insight and information.
But to be honest with you, like, my biggest L that I'm taking in life is that whole divorce. It took me farther away from my kids. And
So would you would have
God,
still gotten divorced at all though?
well, honestly, I probably would have did it earlier. I would have probably did it when they was younger. I tried to stay there.
Oh,
I grew up with my parents, so I tried to stay there because I couldn't imagine them not having these memories that I had with my parents being together and stuff, and us being in the house. So couldn't imagine like them growing up and not having that. So I stayed there, but the problem was by staying there was a little bit of toxicity between the relationship between mom and dad, and
yeah.
they got to see some of that.
Oh, I got what you're saying. That makes sense.
And then as the longer you stretch it out, when you separate, then it becomes a little bit more traumatic because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
So whereas if I had did it earlier, then they could have grown up just being used to not having the memories that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe it wouldn't have been as toxic for them, and we could have managed things differently. So no, I still would have got a divorce, but I think I would have played a different role. I would have had to like swallow some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought about not even having kids, bro. And then I said if I was gonna have a kid, I was gonna only have one. So I had one kid, and then I said, well, we just gonna have to thug it out if we ever beef. Thankfully, we never beef. We never had no problems with me, me and my wife and So we had made up in our mind like whatever happened, we just gonna have to figure it out at least until she become grown. Like if once she become in high school and she get to 18, 19 years old, then we'll figure it out from there. But we good. Like we in a really good space now.
That's the real win, bro. For real, that's the real win. If you have kids that they can be healthy and can have a productive life, that's the real win. And that's one of the hardest things to do because there's so many things out here, like stuff that we like. At least me, I'm a little older than you, right? Probably almost 10 years older than you, maybe 9 years older than you, right?
No way, Will. No way.
Yeah, I think I'm.
No way, Will.
So when I was growing up,
money keeping you young. That's what it is.
No, when I was growing up, we didn't have we couldn't be in bed with a cell phone.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't have no cell phone. I didn't even have no internet. Well, we had something like internet when I was growing up that I was on, but it didn't have none.
You had that AOL dial-up, Will?
Right, was before that.
That's what I had. I had the AOL dial-up.
I was pre-dinosaurs with it. So now, there's so many influences that we don't, as parents, it's hard to even manage all the exposure that they have to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was growing up, there's people that smoke weed, in high school. But I ain't seen nobody doing no cocaine and no stuff like that when I was in high school. Now, and I didn't even really know, when my daughter was going through high school, she was telling me some of the stuff, bro, crazy stuff going on.
You know what my daughter say she sing? I sent her on a tour because I was sending her to different private schools or whatever to tour. She said the biggest thing that she was seeing was all of the girls was gay.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah.
She said all of the girls to now is experimental and they super gay.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing now, bro. I ain't see. There was no openly gay people in my high school. There was some that was a little, what we call a little fruity, but
it wasn't. That junk wasn't. That wasn't the thing when I was coming up either, bro.
I didn't know any gay females when I was.
Maybe it's a Midwest thing. Did you grow up in the Midwest?
Yeah.
Maybe that was just a Midwest thing, though. I don't know, bro.
It's different now, man. So guiding them through all of that with all of this exposure that they have, if you can get your daughter out, cool, out of that, you won, bro.
Yeah.
You won. So, but for me, I'm still my daughter was really good up until about when she did 1 year in college, and then our relationship got a little distant, and the whole boyfriend thing. When she was in high school, we was good.
Ooh, I'm scared. Will, you scaring me, bro.
Yeah, you gotta. We could talk offline about some real stuff there, but it sounds like you are winning on that whole front, bro. Like it sounds
I've
like you're
been
winning.
I think one of the blessings that came along with, getting into tech early and having a lot of the majority of my career in tech, and even when it comes to, the different businesses, whether it be real estate or YouTube or whatever, I think one of the blessings that came along with that was that I was always able to really, really be present, to where now I'm not around as much because I just travel a lot more. But I'm able to be a lot. But even when I travel, like I take her with me or whatever. But I've been able to be really, really hands on with almost everything and assistance with her mother. And another thing that it's afforded me to do is that her mother never worked. So
Yeah.
after my wife had my daughter, she was a mother up until the time that she was just like a full-time mother up until the time that my daughter went to school full-time, and then she started working for me. So even now, she my personal assistant, and she kind of oversees everything that we got going on from a real estate perspective, to where the day-to-day decisions she make, because she's familiar with, everything that goes on. I basically have taught her everything. And then any bigger decision, she'll just be like, and she'll run it by me, and then she'll just go ahead and confirm whatever it is that we need to confirm. But her mother has kind of worked for me the entire time, so it's afforded us the ability to kind of be really hands-on with my daughter while we was growing up. She was growing up.
That's huge, bro. So let me congratulate you on that, because that's not nowadays. It ain't easy, bro.
I
But
appreciate it, Will.
nah.
What you gonna do with all of this money, Will? Like, what's the end goal, bro? Because you're continuing to be in the real estate business, you're continuing to get all of this stuff and these properties and stuff like that. All right, let me ask you the question that people ask me a lot. Like, how much is enough?
That's a good question. I think for me, I don't know because I have my own business, I don't know that I would, and I don't have the kind of business that would be, I don't think it would be easy, other than my property and real estate stuff. My main business, I don't think it would be easy to sell it, because people don't understand how to leverage it to make money with it. And a lot of the money I make with it is because people know my reputation, like me personally. So it's an easy business to sell. So I see myself kind of working maybe a little bit less. And I'm starting to think about, okay, what would I do with this business that's kind of like been a cash cow for me for years? If my kids don't want it, like my daughter is not interested in my business. My son is autistic. He could, I don't think, it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to like take it and run it. So
Yeah.
what would I do with my business that's making some good money, when I'm gone, or when I'm start retiring?
Well, you got so much time ahead of you, bro. You got so much.
But I'm starting to think. So it's like figuring out, okay, who am I going to groom to like maybe pass this off to? But I'll probably be working as long as I can, but maybe not as much. And I'm actually transitioning. Like I used to work all the time and not really have fun and stuff. Now, like I take Saturdays off. I used to work 7 days a week.
I don't take no days off, Will.
See, when I was probably 10 years ago, I probably was still doing every day.
Yeah.
But now, like in the summertime, I'm taking Saturday off. I still take Saturdays off now. I still work Sundays and every other day. But it's a good question, man. Like I'm so used to being in grind and hustle mode that it's funny. Like at one point in my life,
You can't stop.
Like
You ain't. You never gonna stop, Will.
I got ready to retire just like you, bro. I bought a house. I was like, no, I'm gonna move out of this house. I'm gonna sell this house. I'm gonna make about $300,000 off for this. I'm gonna buy a house cash. I did it. I built it. I moved into it. And I was like, yo, I feel like I'm getting ready to die or something. I'm like, I'm used to being in the mix, bro. I'm used to being in the middle of stuff, like making stuff happen. And so I was like, bro, I moved back into this house, which I really like this house. I moved back in here. I sold the house that I built, and I was like, yo, I'm in the game, bro. Like I'm not. Really
But you travel a lot, so it really don't matter. You know, a house is kind of just a space at this point for me to store my stuff in.
Yeah. I do enjoy where I live and stuff like that, and I got family here and stuff. But yeah, I'm in Columbia probably 30 to 40% of the time.
Yeah.
And Florida and Miami and stuff.
Yep, me too.
But you asked a good question.
I'll be in Miami in towards the middle of December.
I'll probably be there. I'll probably be there
Yeah, I'm
around the
gonna be
6th.
down there. I'm gonna be down there and spending all. I'll be down there through January at least. So
Oh, okay. You got a
before
spot down there?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I
Hollywood.
thought.
It's in Hollywood.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. But like, I want to be in a position, bro, where, and I probably could do stuff like this now, but like, where I think I probably need. You said how much money is enough? I think I probably need another 10 mil. I think I
You
need
ain't
another.
never stopping, Will. Because you never really stop. Even if you slow down.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I just was honest with myself. I don't think I'm gonna ever stop.
Yeah, probably. Not when you have your own stuff, bro. When you have your own stuff, and now you got this content creation platform where you can add value, even if it's not even about the money, you can add value to other people's lives, bro. That's so for me, the biggest kick I get out because I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. I make $3,000 a month, something like that on YouTube.
Look at he's saying $3,000. People that's gonna watch this, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I wish I could make it." I mean,
Yeah, and when I say that, I'm thinking about folks like yourself that's really getting it on YouTube. But I see the potential in it. But the big thing for me is when people come back and tell me that some video I did helped change their way of thinking, and now they're like getting it. That's where I'll be like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is bigger than me and bigger than like the money that I can make. It's somebody having like what I really set out to do in the beginning. But man, you asked a good question, bro. That's like super thought provoking. People don't ask me that all the time.
I don't even. You know what? Me, I don't look at it. I don't look at net worth or none of that no more.
Yeah, I never got into that until I started buying a real estate and I saw how my net worth was jumping. Like when I first got into real estate, bro, my net worth might have been $1 million or something like that, or 1.5 maybe or something. I got in that real estate, bro.
It's crazy.
Start jumping.
It's crazy.
You know? Yeah. So, and now I don't look at it, but I see it as okay. It makes you start thinking like, damn, I got all these assets and stuff. The question you just asked makes you start thinking about that question you just asked. What am I going to do with this stuff? Like, how am I going to leverage it? What is my lifestyle going to be? When am I going to stop? When am I going to keep going? Or am I going to build some more businesses? So that's a really good question, bro. That's a really good question.
I don't think I'm ever stop, bro.
Now you got content creation.
Well, when I look at the numbers for me, like let's just say I was to stop everything tomorrow. My biggest thing was I want to be able to maintain my life. Because see, when I first retired in 2019, it was, do I have enough money to be able to last me for the rest of my life, be comfortable, pretty much maintain the principal and send my daughter to school and college for you know what I'm saying, and be straight for the rest of my life. I was like, yeah, and I was only 37 years old at that point. Now I didn't move the goalpost and will I be able to maintain $100,000 a month lifestyle for the rest of my life? That's kind of the way I think of it, right? And that's where I get the number of how many properties eventually I want to acquire. But I don't think I want to stop that because, like, I got the bug now. I want to do it commercially.
Yeah.
Like, I want to build literally an apartment building from scratch. So I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see me stopping.
Yeah, I've been on that too. So like what I'm doing in Columbia, I'm in an existing apartment building and I'm trying to like slowly acquire it.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. That
learn
makes
at the same time. So it's some cool stuff going on, man. I'm sure that we could chop it up offline about some stuff, but man,
I'm not bringing my cars around you because you're gonna be mad trying to embarrass me.
Nah, I see you at the dealership. that Revuelto is gonna be crazy, man. Like but I'm gonna sell my Ferrari though. I'm gonna sell.
Are you? Why?
I don't like taking L's like that, bro. That last one I took an L on, and so like I can have it, like I paid it off and everything, but I can't. I feel like I can't drive it because I'm gonna be losing tens of thousands.
Because you're gonna be running the mileage up on it.
So what I'm gonna do, and this is kind of an exclusive for you and your channel. So I'm gonna sell it like next year, and then but I'm gonna buy another Ferrari like probably this month.
What kind are you gonna get?
A 488, which is basically the same car, just a little bit different styling. But I can drive because the depreciation has already happened, on it. So
That's the one thing about buying them cars is because I like to drive my stuff.
Yes. If
And
you
I,
like to do Lambos are good though. Like you wanna drive it. Lambos hold their value a little better if you buy them used. Yeah, you could drive them. Like I put some miles on mine, man. I put some miles
well,
on
I
mine.
figure if I get okay, so I ordered two, right? I put an order in for whatever the new replacement is going to be for the Huracan. And then I put the order in for the Revelto, right? Because
Okay.
when I actually went to go to the dealership, originally when I inquired about it, right before they had a little bit before they had released the Revelto, they was like, "Man, we not making no more Aventadors." So then it was like, it's a replacement coming. It's gonna be crazy. So I was like, all right, we'll put my order in for that. So I put the order in for that. I gave it a deposit, which I don't really like them just holding on to my money like that, but
Right, yeah, me either.
but so I put the deposit in, and so I'm gonna roll with that. And then I figured I'd drive one of them. I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro.
Yeah, if you get
No
the
idea.
Huracan replacement, you can put some miles on that.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro.
Hey, but
If
whatever
I
you
get a Urus, my wife gonna steal it. Right, and then even with that, I heard they got a new replacement coming out for that. And then on top of that, that ain't nothing but a Porsche.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You know
just
what I'm
gotta
saying?
get with
It's a Cayenne turbo.
I gotta invite you down to some of these there's a 488 piece I've seen somebody in the comments. I
Yep.
gotta invite you to come kick it with some I got some good people here in Columbus, man.
Oh, I shoot right down there. That ain't right up the street.
Yeah, I gotta invite you down here to chop it up with us, man. I got some good people down here, bro, that I think you would like hanging
Yeah,
out
when
with.
you in town,
Yeah.
you'll
I'm here
be
in the
here.
summer. I'm here during the summer, man. In wintertime, I try to be out.
Yeah, that's me, cause that's why I be shooting down to Miami. I go down to Dallas a little bit too now, but
Yeah, I like Dallas. Dallas is one place I could
I
actually
wanted
live
to
in.
check out Hawaii for the winter. But once they had them fires,
It's expensive up there, buddy.
it's hell of expensive. It's
You know,
way more expensive than going over to Miami.
yeah. Hawaii, bro. Woo.
It's expensive. I was just gonna test it out, and I was just gonna get like an Airbnb for like 2 months.
They got sharks all over the place too up there, man.
They was talking about like 30,000 just for 2 months for the Airbnb.
Yeah. It's gonna be some super chips.
I was
So
like,
yeah,
what the fuck
I
is
got it out in Miami. But nah, man, I applaud you, brother. I
Nah,
applaud
I
you.
applaud you, bro, because I listen. And
Take it easy on
let me
Richard,
say
man.
this too. Richard, I love you, man.
Yeah, take it easy on Richard, man. Richard, but you
I
know something about Richard?
I like Rich. I think that Rich is cool. You know what? I don't mind the I never anticipated like debating with him back and forth because I thought we was gonna wind up collaborating one day, kind of
Yeah,
like you. And then he jumped out the window. And even with that, I thought it was before I watched the video because people have been sending it to me. I thought it was just gonna be like difference of opinion of how to build wealth on some like money debate type stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I can go back and forth. But then I seen him, he started throwing shots. I was like, whoa. And that's where I come from. I like that. I was like, okay, well, I was waiting on somebody to jump out the window. I guess we can go there. But no, I actually like him. Like, I would never personally attack him. I think that Rich is gonna be fine. He's fine. He's good. And I like his content. I don't think he give bad information or none of that. The only thing I would say to Rich is to be careful with that real estate fund.
Oh yeah, you was right. You was on point. I saw that video too before. I saw when you said that. You was right about that. The timing.
Horrible decision.
I don't know if he knew what was going on because I see Rich as kind of one of them little older dudes that might not follow everything.
He need to be, and he man.
Right about that. And I don't even know if he's continued with it, but maybe he took that as he might.
He mentioned that he's still doing it.
So, what was I gonna say about Richard? Like, as far as taking shots and
No, the real estate fund. I was saying that.
I tried to collab with Richard because him and he used to be in my comment section a long time ago when we was both doing like the car videos and stuff at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's flipped over to doing the financial stuff when it started working.
Which is smart.
So I tried to collab with him before that, a long time ago. We talked via email, but it never happened. And I just got the impression because I grew up. I had this roommate in college, right? Like I went to Hampton. I represent my
Yeah. Shout out to Hampton.
shout out to Hampton. So I went. This dude I grew up with from the hood. We both went to Hampton. Was my roommate. He was like valedictorian, but he was one of them dudes. He kind of reminded me of Richard a little bit, where he's kind of social because he grew up in the hood. You know how you got to be with people. You know, you kind of got to fit in so that people don't pick on you and stuff like that. So you can do that kind of stuff. But then when it comes to actually like offline, like collaborating and like you're my brother, bro. Like
Yeah.
dude that I went to college with, he's like my brother, like my little brother. Like so you part of my life till I'm gone as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But some people they like to just go on their own path and just be out there and not really. And I think Richard is one of them people. Like
I think
we
he
talk,
is too.
yeah, I think you know he looked up to Deion Sanders that's his big homie.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I don't see too many people. I don't see Richard fooling with too many people. Even if he thought it was a good idea, he ended up just going off kind of like my roommate in college. Like I call him every now and then. Like if I don't call him, I'll never hear from that dude until I die, bro.
Yeah. I like to kick it with people. I like to interview with people. I like to record with people. Yeah, but Rich, I get the impression that he kind of like that too. He kind of like a loner.
Yeah, I think so.
Solo artist, which is cool. Just like if you're gonna be a solo artist, then be a solo artist. Don't.
Hey, if you ever need a debate partner, but if I come on and say, hey, let me debate you on this, for me it's just gonna be funny because I don't get.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I like that too. Like that's what I thought. I thought that it was just gonna be like funny, like differences of opinion or whatever. Because I talked to Ian a little bit, Ian Dunlap from over there at EYL from Earn Your Leisure.
Okay, yeah.
Ian had started kind of getting caught up going back and forth with somebody, and I called him. I tapped in with him. I said, man, leave that shit alone. Like don't be getting into no beef, like no real beef, like on some like personal attacking type of junk. Like just keep it. If it ain't about the content, if it ain't about like hey, I look at this particular investment different, or maybe I don't agree with your real estate strategy, or what I think money is, or what you think generational wealth is. If it ain't surface level on that type of shit, then leave that shit alone. And he was like, yeah, you're right, bro. And he just left it alone. He just dead it. So
but that's good. Like that you could stay in touch with somebody like that to add value because maybe you saved him from going down a rabbit hole that wouldn't have been good for him.
It wasn't because it ain't no benefit in it for him. Like even with me and Rich, it's like, I tapped him a little bit and said, Rich, man, you've been doing this for a long time, man. I know what your cars look like or whatever. I tapped him a little bit, but I ain't gonna attack him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it don't do nothing for me. It don't do nothing for him. Like that ain't even the type of time that I'm on anymore. I'm 41, he's 55. That ain't benefiting nobody, bro.
Nah. But it was I put a smile on my face though, like because I knew where he was going. Like he started pulling the jail. I was like, oh, it's over for Rich.
And I ain't trying to take no food out of his mouth. Hey, Rich, get your money, do your thing, bro. Like I think he gives decent information.
Yeah.
Do your thing, bro.
So I had the idea of doing like let me try to debate for Rich's innocence. you got some things on there that have me thinking like, okay, maybe he was throwing a shot. But I love what you're doing, man, and keep up the good work, bro. I think I applaud you most, man, for being in your daughter's life like that, because that's the real win at the end of the day. But we out here doing some things, setting some examples for some people coming behind us that is extra value, bro.
Hey, man, Will, I love you, bro.
Likewise.
I'm gonna be tapping in with you, and we probably gonna link up in person sooner rather than later. And hopefully, I can have you on the platform pretty regularly, just to get your thoughts on different subjects and different things and stuff like that, bro. But yeah, man, I consider you a brother, man, and I love what you do, bro. I love the inspiration that you give. I've been following you for a long time, and as you can see, even when I reviewed your video, man, I got a lot of love for you. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what you've created, and I just love what you do, bro. So I got a lot of love for you. And if you ever need anything from me, man, all you got to do is hit me up.
Likewise, man. I just let us stay in touch and be. I think the way I approach anything, man, I try to understand what you're doing, and then see where I can add value, and then things just kind of work themselves out. So no, I appreciate you, bro.
I got one more question for you.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Are you
good.
Are you gonna get the Revelto too? Because I seen you said you was getting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I ordered mine, but I was getting ready to say, I don't know if I should tell you offline, but I'll just throw it out there. So I ordered mine, right? I put the deposit in already, but I spec mine already.
Did you really?
And my order is in with Lamborghini already.
You know what? I might have to go to a different.
But what I was gonna say is I can make an introduction, give them some context on you, so and I can ask them before I even do all that. I can ask them, be like, yo, how long would it take if I introduce you to somebody who's an influencer that could be a good look and everything? If I introduce, how long do you think it would take them to be able to get their order in? Which is where it becomes official.
I'm wondering though, because I'm almost feel bad because the dealer, the guy that I ordered from, I got a good relationship with him.
Okay.
I'm wondering it, but I don't know. We'll kick about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. But if you want me to make an introduction, I will, and I can set it up, and I could be like, how long is it before he can get his order in the system? Which is, once you get your order in the system, you're getting a car.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time. Like, so my order, if I got the Lamborghini app, like I could pull up my car and everything.
Oh man, how did you spec yours? What did you spec yours on?
So
you got me dreaming now. I'm about to be on a.
Oh, too, like you can in the app, it'll show you like the status of your car. And so I got a green Huracan now. So I spec this one on my channel. I spec'd that first in black, but then it's like a citrus green. It's different from the one I have now. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with, because I had black. I want to fall in love with it, man. But this color right here, it's gonna be nuts. So yeah, I'm getting the car. With the car.
All right, bet. I'm gonna hit you up this evening, and we're gonna have that conversation. Now you got me salivating over this car.
Yeah, you hit me up anytime, bro.
Of all the cars that because I spent a little bit of money. Like I bought the car that I wanted back when I seen all of the dope boys had it, and I couldn't get it at the time. I bought my '96 Impala. And then I got my little cars. I got my Porsche, my Benz, and
what kind of Porsche is it?
The Taycan. I got that.
Okay.
And then I recently ordered a 911. That's new for the people. I ain't even going. I bought a GT3. So
when is it coming?
They say it's gonna be here in about 6 months.
When it gets here, let me roll with you to pick it up.
Bet, that's a bet. So I got that on order. And then
where you ordered the Porsche, in Detroit or?
Yep, I ordered in Birmingham, Michigan, which is literally like 20 minutes outside of Detroit. So
yeah, let me come up there, man. Do a video with you picking up the car.
That's a bet. All right, that's a bet. But yeah, I'll hit you up this evening, and then we'll figure it out, bro.
Okay, brother, man. Hey, keep up the good work, man. Love you, appreciate you what you're doing, and I just want to be a support.
Hey, anything you need, Will, let me know, bro. I got your back, bro.
All right, bro. Take care.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. That was Will, my dog. Will Motivation. Let me knock out some of these super chats, and then we'll go from there. Sharon says, I got this 2-ball for you, big dog. Thank you, my friend. And men must stick together to prevent the innocent from being wrongfully accused. I agree. Shout out to you. Dylan KO says, there was a time in the 60s when we knew we had values. Somewhere along the line, we let trash culture become black culture. That's a fact, though. Saki Rocky dropped off the 1 ball. I appreciate you, big dog. Counselor Mr. G in the building says, you are 100% correct. Chicago is Gotham, and I'm the Dark Knight who wants peace and justice. Hugo Strange, who wants it to be Arkham City. What are your opinion on luxury RVs? I bought one before. I don't really have an opinion of luxury RVs because I've never had one. I know people travel across the country in them. I don't know. I've never really experienced RVs to that extent, so I'd have to look into them before I had a conversation about it. Slan Sales Car says, Anton and Will are an example of true black goals. Thank you, my friend. Shout out to Will for coming through. Tech Coach Ralph says, amazing conversation. Thank you, AD and Will Motivation, for making this happen. Thank Will for pulling up, man. That's my guy. Mika Briggs says, shout out to Will Motivation. Yeah, Will is he the OG in this thing. Says, Anton don't miss because he don't miss a day. That's a fact, though. This super chat is for Joe O. Show the love. Shout out to you, JT Coin Rings. Reese Turner says, Reese Turner World Steppers Inc. says, this conversation has motivated me, bag chasers. Much love to bro. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, bro, for coming through. Teresa Baldwin says, I love watching your show. I would like to know, how much money did you have to grind to get started independently? It wasn't that I had to get enough money to grind. It was that I was always continuously contributing into the pot. So it's like I look at it like a rock, a pebble that you throw down the mountain, right? And as you continue to throw it down, it just continues to gain traction, and it's a snowball effect. So the first thing is, when I first started getting money, when I was 18, 19 years old, and I started working in a plant, and I was working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I was making over $100,000 a year. My OGs in the plant told me, Anton, save at least 25% of everything that you make, gross. So I always put up that money, and even when I went broke in 2008, I had that money. I just wasn't willing to use that money in order to continue to maintain my lifestyle. So I went broke, we moved back into my mom's basement, gave all my cars back, but I still had the money, and so I had continuously invested it. But then on top of that, I was still investing in my own companies. So when we were coming out of the recession, from the 2008 crisis, it was so much cheap property and so many different stocks that was super duper cheap at that particular time. I mean, even Apple before it split, and different stocks like Tesla at that particular time, we were deploying every single thing that we had into it, and we were living for free all the way up until 2008, 17, 18, when my father died, because my father was the maintenance guy at a complex that I was able to live for free for, because we moved 2 doors down in order to take care of my mother. So our goal as we continued to make money, it wasn't a certain amount of money that we hit. It was that every dollar that we had, we were deploying the majority of it into our resources. Even when I got a decent job, or even when I was working at the University of Michigan, part of the reason why I worked at the University of Michigan was because it allowed for me to double match my 403B, which is the same as a 401k, except for it's for public universities or those type of institutions. They double matched. They paid for my tuition in order for me to continue to get my education when I got out of, or when I transitioned away from, community college. And I was able to use all of that money and throw it into my investments. And I was just living off of my hustle and living off of my businesses, right? So every dollar that we always got, our goal, me and my wife's goal, especially early, was back in 2007, 2008, we said, we're going to grind, we're going to hustle, and every dollar that we get, we're going to throw almost 90% of everything we make into the businesses. Everything into the businesses, everything into investments, everything into stocks, everything into real estate. And so we were concerned about paying off properties. We never used the cash flow from what people were using in order to pay us rent, in order to just pay the mortgage. We always paid the principal. We threw everything that we had into the businesses. And then we got a couple of big hits along the way, and that we got some big checks from different businesses that we were participating in. One of my businesses got bought out, and we just continued to reinvest back into ourselves and back into our businesses. So we never anticipated spending money until we got into our late 30s, early 40s, or when I retired from corporate America. And then that's when we decided that we wanted to start spreading out and have money. But even now, we just reinvesting back into the business. Every dollar that I make from real estate, we don't spend, we redeploy back into real estate, right? We continue to build houses, we buy more land. And now we in a process where it's certain properties that we got to identify, hey, this one is going to need a roof. We want to, tear out the driveway and throw a driveway into that one. So we're doing preventative maintenance along the way also, in order to continue to deploy the money and get rid of the money. So it's really a mindset that you have to have, more than how much money you have to get started. You got to identify the spaces and the businesses that you want to participate in. You're going to have some failures, and you want to just get rid of the money, and you want to keep grinding and getting rid of the money. I always tell people to get a brokerage account instead of a savings account, because some people are going to tell you to get a savings account because, hey, you know, interest rates, and this is what they have, a high yield savings account. But you can do way better by deploying your resources in a brokerage account while still letting your money be liquid, instead of letting the bank make money off of your money, loaning it to other people in order for them to pay interest on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less a mindset that you have to have. And that's the thing that I teach. I don't just teach one principle. I teach a mindset that you have, and then you have to deploy that same strategy in multiple different spaces, because it works the same no matter what it is that you go into. You know, you need a bigger shovel. People that keep telling you that you shouldn't have to work that hard and you can live off of $40,000 a year. No, I say make as much money as you can and stay down for the next 5 to 10 years, and then let your assets continue to support your lifestyle. But more importantly, what you're going to do is you're going to start to develop good habits, good money habits, and then more importantly, after that, you're going to just start to continue to snowball and roll it into it. So you'll have the option to be able to chill a little bit more, or you're going to have the option to be able to continue to grind because you see what the benefits are going long term, right? So that was a really good question, Teresa. But really, that's just my mindset. I just work my ass off because I see the benefits that come along with it, and I deploy all of it. And I use very little of it to be able to support my lifestyle. Norm Blithers sent that 50 ball. Let me give you a round of applause for that one. Hold on. Thank you, big dog. I appreciate you for contributing into the platform, holding us down, and actually seeing the value that we provide. Thank you. You've always supported us, and you've always been a benefit to the show and to what we got going on. And I just appreciate everybody from $1 up to the $50 and $100 balls that people be throwing in here. You guys are much appreciated. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Has always been supporting the platform and the show. Listen, change your mindset. Change the people that you surround yourself with. Change your algorithm, the things that you take in, to let it be a lot more fruitful for what you got going on. And then your life is going to be blissful as a result of it. There is no shortcut to success. You work your ass off. You are very, very dedicated to what it is that you want to do as far as the things that you want to deploy your resources into. And where you put your energy is what you're going to get back. So you can't get back something out of nothing. And a lot of people is just hoping to get lucky. I don't believe in that. I believe that we continue to run it up. We take care of business. And you get what you put into it. You absolutely get what you put into it. I love you guys. I appreciate you. But you know what I'm going to say. I need you guys to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We back at it on Monday. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.